Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
If you believe teams are built up the middle, then there's good news for Tigers fans tonight. Out of the lineup since July 2nd, Leonis Martin returns to center field and back in Ron Gardenhire's lineup with his 9 homers in tow. Martin and the Tigers try and slow down the most explosive team in baseball, the Boston Red Sox, here on Fox Sports Detroit. Hi, everyone. Alongside two-time world champion Kirk Gibson, I'm Matt Shepard, filling in for my friend Mario Mpemba, mourning the loss of his mother. He will be back in his rightful seat Sunday afternoon. Our prayers are with the Mpemba family. Meanwhile, 64 games left for the Tigers. Gibby, what's the approach the rest of the way?
Well, first of all, they're happy to get the momentum of the first half behind them. You get 4 or 5 days off. Nobody's probably picked up a bat. However, the pitchers have pitched, and there's a lot to be determined yet in the rest of the remaining part of this schedule.
I'm really excited for this series because we get to see 2 of the better hitters in the American League. One plays for the Tigers, the other is an ex-Tiger.
Yeah, Nick Castellanos and J.D. Martinez, very, very similar in the way they approach the ball. They both crush the ball, and they're right out of the gate. You got to be careful because they're first pitch swingers, and they will jump you. J.D. Martinez leads the league, and Nick Castellanos is 4th. And then they have the ability to foul balls off as well. They stay alive. They stay alive. They'll hit any pitch. You look at the angle on their bat. They approach the ball a little differently than most do. And if you're going to take a look right here at the slow motion, look how short that is, how he pulls those arms and those elbows in side by side. You can see the similarities right there. These guys are a beauty to watch. Come down to Comerica Park this weekend. These guys are 2 of the best hitters in the game. And this is going to make a very exciting time down here at this ballpark. And if you're Pierce hitting behind J.D. Martinez and John Hicks hitting behind Nick, that's why I picked John Hicks and picked this day.
Well, J.D. Martinez has made an impact every stop he's made, including his 4 seasons here in Detroit. Matthew Boyd tries to slow him and that potent Boston offense down a little bit here tonight. The last time Matthew Boyd won, he beat the Red Sox on June 7th. More on that from the Call Sam studio with John Keating when Tigers baseball continues from Comerica Park on Fox Sports Detroit after this.
with success, but how much of a Bernstein advantage can it be for a guy who hasn't faced the Tigers since he was traded away from Detroit at the midpoint of 2015? Quick pop back into the Call Sam studio. I'm John Keating. Tigers and Red Sox just after the top of the hour. And it is this to which the Tigers are clinging, at least right now. The last game before the All-Star break, they managed to beat one of the best pitchers in the game and a former Tiger in Justin Verlander in Houston last Sunday with 4 homers. They'll face another former Tiger in David Price here tonight. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Kroger. Visit Kroger.com for great deals, digital coupons, and more. By Comerica Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And by Jeep, the official vehicles of summer. First pitch and Shep and Gibby after a break on a Friday night downtown.
Won the 3-game set at Fenway earlier this year, 2-1. The one win for Detroit, courtesy of Matthew Boyd, and he's tonight's starting pitcher, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Kirk Gibson.
Yeah, Matt Boyd in 3 appearances versus Boston, 1-1. Has not lasted in his last 5 games like he would average in just over four innings per game, but you know, he's got good stuff. You're trying to figure his pitches out. Of course, the fastball, curveball, and change is one of his key pitches, but he's got to locate that fastball. So Matthew on the mound tonight trying to get a win.
Gibby, he faces an offensive lineup that is as good as it gets in baseball. #1 in runs, hits, doubles, RBIs, average, and a number of other things. The Red Sox batting order presented to you by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Mookie Betts leads the league in hitting. J.D. Martinez leads the majors in homers and RBIs. Brock Holt, 30 road games, is batting .320. The Tigers defense, good to see Leonis Martin back in center field. Kirk Gibson.
McLaren Health Plan brings you the Tigers starting defense. Jones, Martin, and Castellanos on the outfield. Candelario, Iglesias, Goodrum, and Hicks on the infield. James McCann behind the plate.
McCann second in the American League. And throwing would-be base stealers out. That will be an interesting test tonight. As Ron Gardenhire talked about Boston's pitching and their base stealing as much as he did about their offense. First pitch of the game, caught the inside corner for a strike to Mookie Betts, who is having an MVP-like season.
Well, getting back to the base stealing as well, Betts has 18, been caught 2 times. So they got a great percentage, 84% as a team. So you definitely want to keep them off the base. If they get on, they're going to go.
I think that might surprise some people, Gibby, the fact that they steal 84% of their bases.
But most of the bases are from Betts and Benintendi. Umpires tonight: Cedarstrom, Sherwater, Cooper, and Corey Blazers at third base. Gary Cedarstrom, a good veteran umpire behind the plate. But Andrew Benintendi, he's got 17 steals and only been caught once. So that's 35 steals and 3 caught stealing in the top 2. So that's a big contribution towards that big total. Any way you look at it, they're very successful, and it's something you're going to have to deal with.
Benintendi struggles against lefties. He's a good-looking player. Take a look at StatCast, powered by AWS. This is the reason Detroit plays the shift so aggressively against the Red Sox #2 hitter.
80% over there, where everybody got 3 guys within the 80% area.
Benintendi has homered in each of his last 2 games against Detroit. Got it through the shift for the first hit of the night. The only thing mixed was whether to stand or not, but all applauded J.D. Martinez, who in parts of 4 years here batted .300 with 99 bombs. And you and I talked in our open. He has made an impact at every stop he's made in Major League Baseball, but made a lasting imprint here in Detroit for sure.
Well, 29 home runs, over 80 RBI, and I tried to look up what effect a different park would have on JD's contributions, and it comes up almost dead even. His power is that big. So, and even in this ballpark, while he was there, he hit the home runs. Obviously, when he went to Arizona, he had a ton of home runs in a short period of time, and the ball does fly there, but many of those would have been projected to get out of here. So ballparks don't hold J.D. Martinez. He's that strong and that good of a hitter.
Ahead in the count, 2-0. Now 3-0. Any advantage for Martinez or Detroit in a matchup, the way the Tigers know J.D. Martinez from his time here?
I'd just try and keep the ball real low. Hopefully you can run off his barrel. Got Benintendi over there. He got the hole.
Walked him on 4 straight. As you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game. We'll have it for you.
Now Matt Boyd's going to have to keep an eye at Benintendi. He will steal third as well. And a couple teams have shown that they see a key in Matt Boyd when he's going to go home and when he's going to throw over to first and over to second. So that's something I know they work on between every start. Hopefully it'll pay off.
Here's Steve Pearce. Off speed, just outside. Pierce has had a little punch to the lineup. Came over from Toronto, and since coming to Boston, his numbers have skyrocketed. And you can understand why when you're hitting around some of the batters he's hitting around. 1-1.
You're Matt Boyd. You're trying. You know you got to throw strikes. You don't want to get behind in the count again. Good quality, something moving from Pierce. Can't leave it up. He'll yank it. Looking for that double play. Get out of this inning with limited damage. Just a few pitches.
Not a total shift against Steve Pierce, but Nico Goodrum really close to second base, giving him the right side of the diamond.
I think part of that is holding the runner.
Sure.
Attending. Occasionally, as a pitcher, you want to do the inside move, keep that runner honest. And McCann and Boyd not hooking up right now, so Boyd steps off.
Foul back. Pierce in the cleanup spot tonight, but only 5 homers. But this is a Boston offense that doesn't necessarily need that type of offensive prowess from him. They're 134 homers, second only to the Yankees. Good stop by McCann. Last year, Boston hit 168 out of the yard, so they're only 34 back of last year's total. JD Martinez a big reason for it. Punch to left center. Jacoby Jones watches it sail over his head. It skips off against the wall. 1 run is in. Martinez will hold it third, and Pierce has an RBI double.
You get behind in the count, you got to throw the ball out over the plate. Steve Pierce, a veteran guy, and doesn't matter whether it's a fastball or something off speed. It looked like a heater down and in. You could see the grip, 92 miles an hour, and I think Jacoby thought he had a chance for this ball early on, but that ball really took off. We can feel the wind up here in the booth, and it's going to have an effect on the ball carrying today within the diamond.
This Boston team's so good at getting those extra base knocks. That's the 216th double. That's #1 in the American League. Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop, he's been red hot too, batting .366 over his last 11. Not much of a break in this lineup, huh, Gibby?
No, it's what they call a long lineup.
I mean, batting 6th as an all-star. Mitch Moreland.
287 for Boston runners in scoring position. That's got to be up there at the top.
They are also the most difficult to strike out. They have the lowest strikeout rate in the American League.
Yeah, I was just going to say they make contact.
Yeah.
Got to make the plays, take care of the ball.
3-0. May not be the worst thing if you walk Bogaerts here with a lefty on deck with Moreland. Three and one. Bogaerts has already passed last year's totals in homers and RBIs. In almost half the number of games that he played in 2017. Last year 10 bombs, 62 ribbies. This year 16 and 64 respectively.
really throwing him inside, so see if they stay in there.
3-1 pitch. Now it's full.
Something off speed there, 81 miles an hour. That Boyd trying to get his rhythm, being able to throw any pitch where he wants to. You haven't thrown in a while. You had the All-Star break. You know, there's something to be said about the break. It's good and everybody looks forward to it, but when you come here, it's a whole different mindset. You have to get back up to speed and the physicality as well, executing, throwing the ball where you're aiming the ball.
Do pitchers throw during the All-Star break?
Most of them do, because like they're a starter, so they have a routine. But they're going to throw their side on the second or third day after they pitch. And they'll usually come out and play catch on all the days. Some don't throw maybe the day after. So they generally throw, so it's not that much for a starting pitcher. However, the position players, they work out every day, take batting practice every day, throw every day.
Scalded to third. Candelario's going to come home with it, and they're going to get J.D. Martinez.
Did he tag him?
Tagged him high. Let's see if Alex Cora, the manager for the Red Sox, wants to take a look at it.
I saw Yadier Molina make a tag today in the game. He's a really good tagger. You got to.
That's the Cubs.
I wonder why people don't go to the plate, because you know he's got to go to the plate. Think he got him?
Sure did.
Yep. But there's some good trick sliders. Looks like he got him. Yep.
Might be a different story if J.D. Martinez touches home plate with his feet rather than his hand there, huh?
Yeah, and if that's Mookie Betts, that's probably not going to do it. But Candyman, good play. Knew who he had running, made a decent throw, and McCann with the tag saves the Tigers a run.
The shift on against Mitch Moreland. Had to feel good for him the other night, watching him play in Washington. First year All-Star, and went 2 for 3. Couple of singles. Oh, 0-2.
Not going for a single there. They talk so much in the All-Star game about the home runs, and the home run derby I thought was very good. Bryce Harper with a
That was awesome.
pretty good performance there to win that.
Yeah, with his dad throwing to him. Special moment.
That was hard.
And I'm not a big home run derby guy, by the way. It's almost like the slam dunk contest for me in the NBA. It's almost passé, but the display put on the other night, Bregman, Harper, and the rest of them, pretty expressive, special.
Yeah, what was special was Schwarber when he had 18. He was ahead by 9 with like a minute to go, and Harper hit 9 out of 10.
There's a Big Ten boy for you out of IU. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Moreland. Candelario will take the easy way out. Red Sox draw some blood. Tigers come to the plate after this. Order presented to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Nico Goodrum has hit safely in 11 of his last 14. Nick Castellanos hits lefties better than anybody in Major League Baseball. And Victor Martinez against David Price is batting .471 with 3 homers. David Price is the starting pitcher for the Red Sox, presented by MGM Grand Detroit. Now, Gibby, he's got really good stuff, but he's struggled lately. Why is that?
Well, he does. You know, people go through ebbs and flows, but you're right. Only had 13 and actually 14 innings in his last 3 starts. But again, he's freshened up, and they've set him up coming out of the All-Star break here. Still got the fastball, only about 93 miles per hour. Used to throw much harder. Throws that cutter and a change.
Boston is 10-2 in his last 12 starts. ERA a little inflated for David Price, making his 20th start.
But he's been pitching for a while. And
ground ball to third. Eduardo Nunez makes it 1 up and 1 down.
Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Boston Red Sox. Andrew Benintendi in left field, Mookie Betts in center, J.D. Martinez, very good hitter, but not as good in the outfield. Eduardo Nunez at third, Xander Bogaerts at short, Brock Holt, I like the way he plays at second. Mitch Moreland at first base, Sandy Leon catching David Price.
Benintendi with 6 outfield assists, 10 best in the American League. But a guy who covers an awful lot of ground. They've got guys out there who can cover it, outside of probably J.D. Martinez, who makes his 11th game in right field. Yeah,
you know, J.D., he's not a bad outfielder. He's bigger, and he actually runs and covers more ground than you realize. When he's here with the Tigers, I got a chance to work with him on the bases. He's not a slug, and don't underestimate him in making the plays.
Bogaerts barely had to move, and there's 2 down. If Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring in a copy of the box score to participating RV's locations tomorrow, and you'll get a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your newspaper or on the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com.
So what do you got? 2 hard hit balls?
2 hard hit balls, yeah.
Which we will talk about in one of the next 2 games.
But you told me earlier today that that's a little arbitrary. What do you mean by that? I mean, why do you think that?
Well, it's kind of an easy term to examine a different segment of how you evaluate a player. Because we'll get into the game here. We'll tease him right here. You know, what does it mean to hit a ball hard? Or do you want to hit? Do you want one to go a little ground ball for a hopper between the first and second baseman? If you're evaluating a player or a developing player, what do you put more? What do you weigh more heavily? The hit, even though a guy was on first and there's a bigger hole between first and second and they dribbled through, or that ball right there was just hit by Jamer.
Yeah,
the line drive to the shortstop.
The way a player squares it up, right?
Yeah, so you know, I'm going to take the line drive. But as a batter, the same thing happens to you. You get a base hit on one that you hit off the end of the bat, you feel good. And when you hit a bullet and you make an out, you don't feel good. But I'm suggesting you need to control that.
Castellanos looking for the gap. Instead, he's going to find the bottom of J.D. Martinez's glove. 3 up and 3 down for the Tigers as we head to the second. Nunez, the third baseman, to lead things off here in the second. To face Matt Boyd. Seventh batter Boyd has faced, and fourth time he started said Red Sox batter off with a strike. Curveball missed. 1-1. Nunez batting .302 against the Tigers.
Oh,
right back up the box. Goodrum perfectly placed.
Deflected that, I think. Boyd did. Bernards brings you the big money encounter. Talking about ERAs. Largest ERA increase in the AL pre-July to July.
Wow.
Hamels and Happ. Matthew Boyd. Unfortunately, in that list, David Price right there with him, and Porcello. But you know, this is kind of a, you get into late July before August, it's kind of the dog days, and then you got to find a way. You catch a second wind, you hope. You get closer to the playoffs, and the races, it's just natural excitement every day.
Well, what's interesting about that list right there, the top two guys on that list have been mentioned heavily, rumored as trade bait for their respective teams. Brock Holt pulls one down the right field line, and then the last two are on a team that has 68 wins this year, leads their closest rival by 4.5, their largest lead of the season, and their 38 wins is the season best. Boyd registers his first strikeout of the night.
So if you were picking out of those 5 guys and you were scouting from a different team, you mentioned some have had a huge increase, so you might think, oh, these I wouldn't want those guys. However, it's been proven. Here's your list. What one do you take? It's a tough one.
That's a really good question. Lefties are so important in today's game, don't you think?
I do. I mean, Cole Hamels.
I probably would shy away from Cole Hamels because of what's happened recently.
Yeah, well, because of his performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's been in those games before, and I think he'd be a different pitcher. And then the other thing you have to think of, if you're a team that would say, for instance, acquire a Cole Hamels, what is he replacing? If you don't really have anybody close, then he's maybe a huge upgrade. If you've got somebody that's been pretty dominant, there's not much of an upgrade, so that might steer you away from him.
Well, we know the last two guys on the list aren't going anywhere.
No, they're in it.
So it's really the previous 3. Sandy Leon, second 4-pitch walk for a Red Sox hitter tonight. Turn the lineup over to Mookie Betts. It's a really good question, Gibby. J. Happ has been rumored as a possible fit in New York for the Yankees. Yankees are in need of some starting pitching.
Who is it? I mean, really.
Houston.
Between now and the end of the season, they may be, because a lot can happen. Matt Boyd, 38 pitches, 22 of them strikes. So that's less than 60%. But
might surprise people that this Boston team, that is better known for its offense, is still, for pitching wise, in the top 5 in 17 different categories, #1 in shutouts. Betts takes it tight, 2-0.
so what happens with a team like Boston? They just grind it through all the way, and then at some point you're gonna make a mistake, and they've been getting the teams, and they got 60 wins. That's a lot before the break.
68's a ton. 2-1.
But did you look at the patience first time through here? Betts right there. He's being very patient. I mean, but you're looking at a guy who never strikes out, has more walks than strikeouts. That's incredible.
Even.
So He appears to be waiting on something.
Yeah, he's looking for some particular pitch. He's got 79 runs scored, kid. He's second most by a Red Sox player at the All-Star break since Ted Williams in 1946. That is really impressive. Fisted, foul.
Good pitch by Matt Boyd. Good job by Betts just fisting it into the stands. He's pretty quick inside, all the way across the middle of the plate and down and away. But be careful in there.
It's full.
Well, let's take a look at his two-strike hitting. First in the leagues, 331 slugging percentage.
What does that tell you right there?
He's got great hand-eye. You watch him, he stays back, he's not jumpy. I think he's taking pitches so he can see what he's up against.
Yanked. If it's fair, it's trouble, but it's foul. Barely missed his 24th homer of the year.
So let's look at him. You've seen what, 8 pitches now? Watch his leg kick, how slow he is. He does not drift at all. And look at that bat angle right now. It goes right down the ball. Seemed like the bat used to swing more horizontally. Now there's some verticality.
Yeah.
Verticality to it. Is that even a word?
It is
you know
now.
What I mean.
It is now. Fouled back. Sandy Leon's going to get tired pretty soon.
Yeah.
That's what Betts does, as you pointed out. He battles. He sees a lot of pitches.
Yeah, Matt Boyd here in the bottom of the second inning has 49 pitches already. This is the 9th pitch of the bat coming up. So if you're a hitter and you see all the pitches, you've seen just about everything.
Another foul back. Boston had just beaten Toronto in a series, and Betts battled his way through a 13-pitch at bat before hitting a home run just prior to the break.
Alavila and Dave Dabrowski.
Tony La Russa in the foreground. Got him swinging. Boyd's through 2. 1-zip Red Sox. August 17th through the 19th. Play baseball in the Comerica Park Field in your own personalized Tigers uniform and receive instruction from former Tigers serving as special guest coaches. To purchase, for more information, call 313-471-2550. Nothing like it.
A lot of good times. Actually, I ran into an old fantasy camper the other night, Tom Lozon, and he's been doing it for years. And he got a chance to coach. He's coached under Leland. I think he's coached under Rosie. I think you just can't say enough of it. These guys, really enjoyable experience. So if you got any looking for do something fun, that's one of the things to do with X-Tag.
Could be a bucket list type thing too. I mean, just to get out here, play on this. Look, you did it for so many years. Sometimes, and I'm as much to blame too, taking it for granted. I come here to the ballpark, I get a chance to work here and find the different places throughout this ballpark that many people don't. But when you get a chance to be a fantasy camper, that is really cool to get that uniform on and play baseball on this diamond.
Yeah, he appeared and had Jim Leland made Tom speak to the team.
Really?
Yeah, and they beat him up a little bit, but he had some good comebacks.
He probably got a little nervous.
Donnie Kelly, he named Don Kelly, kind of ribbed him a little bit. I think Miggy got at him a little bit, but he really thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's a very friendly and family type event.
Oh, 0-2 now to James McCann. David Price making his 7th career start against the Tigers, 9th appearance against Detroit. His numbers very good at the Tigers' expense.
Velo's down, but his pitchability, he understands his pitches better.
Right, that's his first strikeout of the night.
Right on the inside corner.
Brings up Victor Martinez. You'll want to make sure to tune in to tomorrow's broadcast for another Fox Sports feature, Behind the Scenes. Join us as we show you the evolution of apparel in Major League Baseball. It all starts with Tigers Live at 5 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Along with John Keating, Craig Monroe, Trevor Thompson, Kirk Gibson, I'm Matt Shepard, filling in for my friend Mario Impemba. Our prayers with him and his family. After the death of his mom a couple of days ago, he'll be back here Sunday afternoon in the series wrap-up against this Red Sox team. Victor Martinez, really good numbers against David Price in his career.
He has the best numbers.
Easy play for Nunez, and another easy inning for Price. J.D. Martinez on base already once tonight. 2 up, 2nd in the 3rd. Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game. It's presented by McDonald's. The 2-3-4 hitters for Boston. Andrew Benintendi, who singled and scored the game's lone run in the first, leads off. Benintendi's first career home run came here at this ballpark back in August of 2016. Good number 2 hitter too, huh, Gibby? Good back control, good speed, and good power. Sending Castellanos back in front of the warning track, and there's one down. Time for the DT Energy Know Your Own Power. And JD Martinez has plenty of it, and this is the impact he's made with the teams for which he's played when homering. This Boston team is 25-3 when he goes yard.
Yeah, he's gotten carried away with that in Boston. That's incredible, almost 90% of the time. But JD has gotten better from the time that really he almost was not wanted in Houston. Came to Detroit.
Yeah.
Down to Arizona, where he just raked.
Really found his career here in Detroit.
He did. Well, and this is not only in baseball, but in life. You come to a place, you're down, you're almost out. Your friends encouraging you, and then you get a break. Somebody gets hurt, right?
Yeah.
You get to the big leagues and never go back.
And a really good dude too.
Yeah.
I mean, we called him a go-to guy in the media. Always there to answer questions.
On good nights and bad.
Right. Grounded to third. Candelario with his second assist of the night.
You know, we were talking about JD. Look at this. He's down 2 strikes, is up and in. Look how short he gets to the ball. I thought he's going to get jammed in. Look at him. Pulls those arms in, recognizes he's just trying to put the bat head right on the ball. So we made it out. But it's really, most hitters would get jammed on that pitch. He's got great recognition, and he just never really takes himself out of it, meaning he doesn't jump at the ball, doesn't lose his hands. He's always got his power behind him.
Gibby, he's got 228 total bases in the break, most in the majors. That's the most for a Red Sox player since Jim Rice in 1978. You and I remember watching Jim Rice play, him and Carl Yastrzemski in that outfield. It was a good one. And Dwight Evans
played against him. And
sure.
I remember Jim Rice taking Dave Rozema yard in Joker Marchant Stadium on a ball like that. Tried to sneak it in there, just some quick hands. Boom. I was standing in left field going, wow, I got out here quick.
Wow, that guy's strong.
Rosie gives up another one.
Nice grab by that fan right there.
What was that guy's name in Baltimore? Rex Barney?
Yeah.
They'd have that megaphone come on. Give that fan a contract. Different stadiums do different things. You remember them. It's an emergency stroke right there.
Is that with the hat? That's with the hat.
It's always interesting when people actually try to catch the ball with refreshment in cup.
Yeah, what do they value more? The ball or the refreshment? It might depend on how full the refreshment is.
Those balls are expensive.
Pierce is battling.
Again, this is Steve Pierce, veteran guy. Hit 500 off lefties. Doesn't have that many at bats. I think he's probably has 12 at bats or so. But the good thing, Tigers get a chance to beat up on the best team in the game.
Pretty clean inning for Matthew Boyd.
Finding it.
Oh, by the way, it happened about 5 o'clock. The Tigers announced that starting pitcher Michael Fulmer had been placed on the 10-day disabled list with a left oblique strain. And so last minute, Victor Alcantara has been recalled from Toledo. So Tigers trying to get Fulmer figured out and back healthy again as they begin the second half. It's Mike Fiers who will pitch against these Red Sox tomorrow, Shep.
Alcantara gives him a live arm, right, Keats? He's got good stuff.
Yeah, they like him a lot.
I would maybe expect Hardy, J.J. Hardy, to take Fulmer's spot. I don't know.
Blaine Hardy, yeah. Well, he had such good success as a starter earlier this year.
Then he went into long relief, did well there.
Good to see Leonis Martin back in this lineup. Was on the 10-day disabled list, but hasn't played since July 2nd at this level. Trevor Thompson told you in Tigers Live earlier tonight that Leonis Martin batting .300 with the Mudheads in that rehab stint. I asked him how that was different from earlier this year when he was injured and he didn't go down, came back and really struggled at catching up with the fastball, especially over the middle of the plate. And he said this feels a lot different. To be able to get that pitching, to get those swings in, to see the results, much different than earlier this year.
So it feels better?
It does. It feels better.
Like doing the rehab in the minor leagues. It usually does. When you rush it, it's usually bad. The other thing about Leonis, why he's so important to this team, he's got some experience, wisdom. He's very active, lively, and communicates. He's very audio. So the team likes to have him around, likes to have him in the lineup.
Yeah, really good teammate. Matter of fact, Jamer Candelario told me before the game that while going through some of his struggles recently, and he has, it's been a little bit of a chore. It weighs on your mind. He leans on Leonis Martin, talks to him a little bit about it. How do you get through these types of times? And that's why it's important to have some veterans on this team, on this young team. This one golfed in the air, and Martinez will make the easy out. We're going back to college with Nissan on Central Michigan night. Sean Hare is a guy I called games for when I was in Mount Pleasant. Cup of coffee at the big leagues. Joe Siddle now does an outstanding job on the Toronto Blue Jays broadcast.
And my guys up
here.
top, Coley, Josh Colmenter.
Kevin Tapani gave a lot of money to the school to help redo their baseball stadium. And there's the good-looking Detroit Tiger hats in burgundy and gold with Fox Sports Detroit on the side.
Fire up chips, right?
Fire up chips. Yeah, we had Western Michigan night earlier. It'll be Eastern Michigan night flying into Comerica Park. No pun intended. Tomorrow night.
Are those people from the baseball team from CMU, or is it?
All those folks? No, I think they're just proud alums. Pop up to left center. Benintendi camps under it. There's 2 fly ball outs.
I could almost be an honorary
How's that?
alumnus from CMU because I spent a little bit of time up there, right up there. It's not too far up the road, right? Less than an hour.
The camp?
Yeah.
Your
from
camp?
from
Your ranch?
No, I'm saying MSU when I was in college up to CMU.
I see. Yeah.
So
Well, when I was going to school there, Central Michigan was beating Michigan State on a regular basis.
no, not during when I was there.
I said when I was there.
Oh,
when I was
okay.
calling those
You're
games.
right.
They were actually beating Michigan State and Michigan. Some really good players. Larry Lanphier patrolled center field. He was a dynamic center fielder. Never made it to the bigs.
Dave Keilitz did a great job.
Yeah,
up
he
there.
was. Yeah. Would later become the athletic director at CMU. They got to fix their football uniforms though because they're awful. Just awful.
There's a few recreations around the league of some pretty brutal uniforms. Don't you
Agreed.
think?
Yeah. Some schools take it a little bit too far. Jones sending Martinez back. Will that find a gap? Oh, what a grab! Martinez crashes into the wall, but made the catch.
Did his glove come off? Oh, it's his hat that came off.
That was one of the better catches JD Martinez has ever made, right at the 365 mark. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Straightaway center field. I've been up there numerous times watching some Tigers games, and it is a fantastic place to see the city and to see some good baseball. Top of the fourth. Matthew Boyd has settled in nicely. Xander Bogaerts, Mitch Moreland, and Eduardo Nunez due up for the Red Sox, who are tops in the AL East.
Yeah, Matt Boyd getting into a little bit of rhythm, still wasting and missing on several pitches.
Pitch count a little up for you so far.
Well,
right?
it is. I mean, he's at 62 pitches here as we go into the fourth, but last inning, really the best inning he's had so far in the game. You kind of watch when the guy, he starts missing, like there's just arm side high, and if you watch, you'll see him try and make an adjustment. So he's coming in now. James McCann maybe trying to make the adjustment, but Matt Boyd's making sure he doesn't hang that ball on the inside part of the plate or on the outside part of the plate. He's going to bury it. He's going to bury it in.
Yeah, we were talking with McCann before the game. What do you do against this potent offensive lineup? He said you got to keep them off balance as Bogaerts fouls it back to make it 3-2. So you can't have what you have talked about on this broadcast numerous times this year. You cannot allow some type of rhythm or some type of pitching a certain way all the time.
You're constantly changing, constantly feeling different things. You throw a pitch, you get it for a little bit. It's kind of like your golf swing. You feel like you hit a couple balls, and the next thing you know, you're scrambling. That's really true in my case.
Well, in golf, you want to keep that swing. In pitching, you would like to keep them off balance. Don't develop a pattern where you're throwing the same pitch and the same count all the time. Keep them guessing, right?
Yeah, and I would say the culprit on golf swing, pitching, hitting, if you overswing.
Right.
Everything breaks down.
Line drive to center. Martin scampers back and had a nice read on it. Speaking of reads, let's welcome in a man who read this outfield numerous times, Greg Monroe.
What's up, fellas?
How are you, partner?
Oh, I'm doing great.
How was your break?
My break was outstanding.
Good.
I got a chance to hang out in the pool in Texas. It was hot, though, Shep and Gib. It was hot, but me and the kids had a great time. And then I was excited to get back. And then I got the news that I'm going to go hang out at the New Amsterdam bar here in right field. It is fun, and it's a beautiful place to be. If you haven't came up here and visit, you have to do so. They've been a little rowdy, though, boys.
They love you up there.
Simo.
Well, they do love me. They do, and I love them back, though.
Good.
Yeah, he does. Simo's on a roll. We were out here at the concert the other night. Simo, you were giving hugs out that night.
Is that the Zach Brown, Dan?
I did.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
I did. I enjoyed myself.
How
as
was
well.
it? What'd you think of it?
I thought the concert was outstanding. I mean, it's a great time to come and hang out and just see something different, experience something different.
Yeah, you're good like that. You do a really good job of expanding your horizons. I give you credit.
I feel like you have to.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to, Chef.
No Def Leppard and Journey, though, huh? You didn't
No,
want
I
to
didn't
double dip?
I didn't make that one. I didn't make
Too
that
heavy, too heavy for Simo.
No, I think I can handle it, Gib. I think I can.
I know you can. I was trying to give you some cover, and you just blew it.
How about the right field? How about the play in right field here, though, in that in the bottom of the inning there?
J.D. Martinez, yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, J.D. Martinez. I mean, he put in a lot of work to become a better right fielder, Gib. You know a little bit about that, right?
Yeah, he paid the price. Another strikeout.
What's the key to that play?
Well, the key of the play is getting a good jump. And if you notice there, he got a real good jump on the baseball. But then once he got to the warning track, he knew exactly where he was at. And he knew that he had to keep his eyes on the baseball. But he was going to pay for the catch. And it was an outstanding grab.
Yeah, if you peekaboo there, you lose it.
Oh, if you peek, you don't catch that baseball. You can't peek.
The thing that he did good, too, is he hit the wall straight on. If you hit sideways, that's how you get separated shoulders and broken arms and wrists and hands. He learned that lesson in Kansas City 2 or 3 years ago. But if you go sideways into a wall, you don't want to hit anybody sideways because that AC joint in your shoulder goes real easy.
Pounded to left center. Jacoby Jones drifts over. And another breeze of an inning for Matthew Boyd. Join us as we show you the evolution of apparel in Major League Baseball. It all starts with Tigers Live at 5 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Then the first pitch coming a little after 6. David Price throwing a no-hitter through 3 until that swing. Who's got that guy pick to stick?
Seems like you wouldn't be bragging. He's a first pitch swinger as well. Look at, he just lets it go. David Price trying to get that cutter down, and look at him pull his hands in there. I hear you over there, Shep.
Seems like you.
Just make sure you steal the base.
You were waiting for that, weren't you?
Oh, I knew you'd be gloating.
Hey, Gibby, that's one of the things I love about Nico's swing, too, guys. He really does allow himself to allow the hips and the hands to work together to get to that ball on the inner half. He do it extremely well from the left side, and it was nice to see him do it there from the right side. But here's the guy that I'm looking forward to getting going in the second half, and that would be Candelario. They've really been pounding him in, Gibby and Chip, and I'd really like to see him turn on a couple baseballs and get them out of there where they can go back to the outside part of the plate, and that's where he likes to get some extension and drive the ball to all fields.
We know what I like about Nico too is
Another base knock.
when he swings it, he swings it. He doesn't. Like a lot of guys, you're up there first pitch, you're looking for a heater, and you commit, and then you see a changeup, and you watch they'll adjust and make weak contact. I mean, you know, you got no strikes on you, or one strike on you. You want to let it go. You want to be on time for the heater. You don't want to adjust. You still got a strike left.
You guys remember when J.D. Martinez first came here? Not many people knew about him. He was given up on by Houston, and Detroit capitalized. I'm not saying Nico Goodrum is the same type of player. That's not fair. But we are noticing Nico Goodrum spent a long time in Minnesota. Didn't get a real fair shake, according to many people who liked him in that organization. Maybe we're seeing something here.
Simo, can you tell or can you see what the Tigers saw in Nico?
Well, you look at his skill set. I mean, he's like 6'3", 200, about 20 pounds. He runs extremely well. He can play multiple positions. I think when he was in Minnesota, guys, he was inconsistent. He's not the player that he is today.
But why?
But it's because he's getting the opportunity. When you're scuffling in the minor leagues, or even when you're playing as well as you can play,
right,
there's always somebody ahead of you, and you get blocked. I think here he's able to relax. He knows he's going to get an opportunity to play every single day, and he's taking advantage of the opportunity.
Thus the J.D. Martinez comparison, just only in that form alone. That's it. And the thing, obviously, the Tigers like most about him, Nico Goodrum, is extremely athletic. I mean, he does a lot of things that we haven't seen here in a while, and it's fun to watch, and you'll love to see him grow on a regular basis.
Well, one of the toughest things, too, guys, as a young player, and Gibby, you know this, you're always looking over your shoulder.
That'll be an infield hit for Castellanos, and the bases are juiced for John Hicks.
You know, sometimes people pop off and things come around. Just happened this inning, Simo. Nico come up and got a single. Look at here, this is Nick, hard hit right up the middle. David Price deflection off the glove. Everybody's safe. We got bases loaded, nobody out. We got him there, Shep.
And here's your guy. Here's your guy, John Hicks, with the bases loaded.
Simo, I've been making a move in that pick the stick, the Ram pick the stick.
Yes, you are. And I haven't been happy with my pick the stick at all. And I've scuffled a little bit, but it is the second half. It's a new season for me. I'm looking forward to catching you guys.
Change up, watch.
Caught the corner, 0-1. I talked with John Hicks before the game and asked him if the break was a good time for him, because he struggled going in, and he said absolutely. He said, you know, you're playing 20 games in a row. We had those 5 straight day games. Absolutely. But he did learn something about himself in the first half. Fouled back. And I said, look, I mean, you're a good hitter. And he is. He's a good hitter. He said, look, last year, you know, when he first came up in Seattle, it didn't end well for him. It didn't bode well for him. He tried too hard. Last year, he proved something to himself. But the first half of this season, playing on a regular basis and being able to hit, showed something.
Yeah, well, he should be able to get rid of it from that experience.
Well, he's also getting more comfortable every single day, and I think that's important. That's the story I wanted to tell you guys about Nico. It's tough to play this game when you're always worried about getting sent down. Every at-bat is like life or death.
Right.
And it's tough to get to a consistent approach in the batter's box. You find yourself trying too hard. And I'm glad that Guardia allowed Nico to know that he's going to be here. He doesn't have to look over his shoulder. They like who he is as a player. And I think that's to be said for a lot of the guys. You know, now they get a chance to try to be the best major league player, guys, that they can be.
Hanging tough.
Here's the 1-800 call Sam call the game. Look at the second time through. Look at David Price giving it up 274. And we're going through the second time looking for a big knock. The bases loaded. So right now, nobody out.
It's a little surprising, isn't it?
Well, it's the way it's going. That's based on real data so far. Let's hope it continues that trend.
This is a good at bat by John Hicks right here.
He's just grinding it right
really
now.
is.
He's just putting the bat on the ball any way he can.
That's what I love about baseball. I mean, this is just fouling off pitches to get your pitch, hopefully.
He stayed away from inside so far. I got to believe he's going to come inside somewhere and get him established and thinking about. Look at the catcher, Leon. Just given what signs are going to be.
A little looper. Benintendi had him played shallow. And Goodrum holds. The throw way offline. Oh, good job by David Price. Now they've got Candelario caught between second and third. And a low throw allows Candelario to get back. And Brock Holt is hurt.
Brock Holt probably got spiked. Or maybe it was his knee. He went in sideways. But here's the tag. Nico's on first base. He started, and Benintendi's got a good arm. Of course, you don't know where it's going to go wild. Then watch right up here. There's Candyman takes off. And Holt's right there in front of the bag. Gets in the way, and I don't know if he twisted that knee or if he just got kicked with the spike. Nick, I don't see any blood, so you would worry about getting spiked there, but look like they're looking into the stability right there.
Well, Gibby, that was almost a disastrous play for Detroit with Candelario. Yeah. He gets picked off second base there. And you got runners at the corners with 2 outs instead of bases loaded with 1.
But Nico is going, and here's Candy going back. You can see Brock is.
Yeah, he got him with the spike. You're right.
Just kind of nicked him on the. There's Nico. I could see Candy. You got to keep your eye. If you're the trail runner, you got to keep your eye on the lead runner, which would be Candy on Nico. You can't take off like that. Tigers got away with it. So Boston could possibly suffer another injury.
That looks like a pad on his right knee, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a slide pad.
Yeah.
I think he's all right. I think he got kicked real hard. Didn't look like the spike got him. It looked like the side of the chute banged him pretty good.
I don't know if he's all right though, Gibby. He's looks a little tender from here.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about like serious.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Like surgery. I mean,
he's a tough kid. I like him. He can play a lot of different positions for Boston.
Yeah, infield, outfield. When you do stuff for your knee like that, it's kind of a weird feeling. Like certain things you know right away whether you can or you can't. The knee is a different feel, and then it kind of goes away, which it looks like on Brock Holt right now. He's thinking about it.
Did you have more knee issues because of baseball or football when you played?
I never had a knee problem in football. I did in baseball. I was diving on the turf in Minnesota, and I broke a piece of cartilage off there, and then I twisted it. But it's part of the game. He looks a little tender. You want to be smart about it. Get him out of there. Get some ice on it. Probably get an X-ray and possibly an MRI before you go again at it. But it's an interesting game so far. We had a little bit of energy coming out here, didn't we?
Yeah, it's been some fun. I mean, this is a really good Boston team. But remember what Detroit did just before the All-Star break. They beat Justin Verlander, hit 4 home runs, a season most in a game, and they beat arguably the best team in baseball, the defending champion Houston Astros. So this is a challenge that every one of those players in the clubhouse told us before the game they love. These are the types of moments you live for.
That's a great thing that they're talking about that, Chip. I'm telling you, many times clubhouses are quiet when they go against a David Price, a Justin Verlander, a Roger Clemens, a Ron Guidry. And I know for our team it was Alan Trammell who said, let's go out there and kick this guy's butt.
Yeah, I love that quote from you in Call to the Hall. If you've ever seen that show, it's about Alan Trammell and Jack Morris getting their call to the Hall of Fame. And one of your stories was Alan Trammell loved playing against Roger Clemens.
Well, he made us vocalize that we wanted this guy. I mean, we all understand privately this guy's good.
Yeah.
But you got to force yourself to enjoy the challenge. It's an extra challenge. But we're back to play. We got a new player out there at second base. Sue Wee Lin. That's just a guess, of course.
It is number 5. T. Lewin. James McCann awaits.
Kind of a buzz in the stadium tonight. Everybody's back from the break themselves, enjoying it.
And you wonder how a layoff like that in the middle of an inning affects a pitcher.
Well, Price has been throwing on and off while they were attending to Brock Holt, but Matt Boyd, he's sitting on the bench, and they do tighten up from time to time.
Well, guys, that's been one of David Price's issues all season long, not being able to command the fastball.
That was a great at bat by Hicksy.
Sure was.
Castellanos is first, Candyman at second, Nico's still at third. David Price trying to wiggle out this one-out jam.
2-2. First threat for the Tigers tonight.
This is where the Tigers need to get better at. These are opportunities you just got to find a way. And Lloyd McClendon and Phil Clark, the hitting instructors for the Tigers, they talk about line drives. Think about this different mentality, so it'll pay off in the end. Got to buy in. 3-2.
Needs to come in here.
Well, you'd think that. Now, if you're known as an aggressive hitter, they'll throw this one in the dirt.
Well, guys, he's also threw 3 straight changeups there. He fell behind the count 2-0, and then he went changeup, changeup, changeup. Hopefully McCann's ready and able to take a short, compact swing and hopefully drive the baseball, because they need to cash in right here.
What do you expect here then? This is what I loved about the All-Star coverage on Fox. Miking up players like Charlie Blackmon, Mike Trout. You expect to see a heater here?
Well, I'm looking fastball, but my direction is right center.
Okay. Got him swinging. Big out.
Turned that over. I don't know if that was a backup slider or just a cutter. So you'll see all the pitches. Look how he's changing his eye level. He starts up, and then he goes down, and then he works on the outside part of the plate. Looks like he turned that over 86, 87 miles an hour. And that's where Simo's talking. You got to kind of think that way. You got to find a way to get a piece. That was a perfect pitch.
Well, you respect his fastball. He runs it up there, 93, 94. But with 2 strikes, really would have liked to see McCann there. Even let that baseball there get a little bit deeper. That has to be the mindset, especially when a guy has 2+ pitches that he's been able to use and showing confidence in.
Well, I can't argue with you. You know, we had to learn our lessons as well.
Yes, we did.
Leave it up to Victor Martinez.
James McCann has really busted his tail to try and get things going in the right direction, and you just keep pulling for him, and hopefully he'll figure it out.
Yeah, and he's also working on staying through the baseball, not cutting it off. And you see him in the batting cage, you see him in the tunnel putting in the work, and you just hope that sooner or later it starts to happen for him in the game.
1-1.
Well, that's what happens. Like you say, you start it, you do it off a tee, you do the front flips, maybe some do back flips, side flips, then you do it off a coach throwing, then you go BP on the field, then you go game. Just like that, right, Simo?
That's the only way to do it. The game is a test, and you can have some fun and just let it hang out.
J.D. Martinez got a late jump, but he recovered nicely. David Price pitched out of a bases-loaded jam. Matthew Boyd and the Tigers trail 1-0 on Fox Sports Detroit.
Struggling in the first inning with a walk and a couple of hits. Gave up 1 run, but has then settled down. Pitch count is going down. He's got all the pitches going. He's got the slider, the curveball, fastball in right there, and the changeup. So through 4 innings, 2 hits and a run, 4 strikeouts, has walked 2, but much more rhythm and much more hitting the zone for Matt Boyd. And the Tigers, of course, want him to go deep in the game, but he's currently at 73 pitches. The most he's thrown this year looks like about 106 pitches in a game. So he's got about 30 pitches to go, and hopefully he can get a couple innings out of him, and the Tigers can get to their bullpen.
Do you have to be careful with him even more since it's his first start after the All-Star?
No, I think he's pretty much. You look at he threw on the 10th. So what's the day is the 20th. So he's had 10 days. I think he's probably feeling pretty good. They may go 110 pitches with him at most, but there's going to be between 100 and 110.
Tui Lin filling in now for Brock Holt, who was injured in the last half of the inning. Lin singled and walked on Saturday. That snapped an 0 for 26 skid against Major League pitching, primarily playing this year in Pawtucket.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch. 94 the high, 70 the low. 24-mile-an-hour difference. That's good.
And got a lesson there from Matthew Boyd. 5th strikeout of the night for Boyd.
So, good bow locker here. Lynn coming off the bench. Look at, he throws this ball right at his right shoulder. Locked him up. And this ball is right over the heart of the plate. Whoops. You know why we call that a bow locker?
No, why?
Well, look at his bow's locked up right there.
We call it a knee buckler too, Gib, but I like the bow locker. That's funny.
That was picked that up from an old teammate, Glenn Abbott.
Oh yeah.
He was a Southern guy. He said it's a bow locker.
Also, guys, it looks like Matthew Boyd has found his rhythm.
Yeah.
He's finding the strike zone, pitching ahead in the count. And when he's doing that, quite frankly, he has a lot of success.
What took him so deep into the game, do you think?
Well, a lot of times, Shep, is just trying to find that good rhythm. You really can't pinpoint one thing. Maybe wasn't able to command the inside part of the plate. Didn't feel good there.
Candelario with a strong arm. Hicks does a nice job to stay on the bag.
And also for me, Shep, it looked like the front side was flying open a little bit too soon, and he was missing up and away. He made the adjustment, and that's what you have to do in this game. You got to make an adjustment, and Matthew Boyd was able to make one.
Yeah, he is getting to both sides of the plate, and the curveball, the breaking ball is way better. Much better location, much more break on it. Pretty nice backhand there by Candyman. That's something we'll look at throughout the weekend as well. We got some packages built for you. Increasing his range, and his throws have been fairly accurate most of the year, but he's going to have to keep improving. Keep that bat going, get better at defense. He'll be a keeper.
Mookie Betts 0 for 2, 19 in a row where he's reached base safely. Got fooled there, and it's an 0-2 count to the leadoff hitter and the leading hitter in the American League.
Just look at I'm starting to look at the bats a lot. I'm going to do a theme show on bats. That one looks like, if you look at the handles, and some guys like skinny handles.
Yep.
Betts appears like a thicker handle. Plus, he's got tape on it.
Just missed.
Well, when you
Is it tape or is it
some kind of
it's some type of
not
like
tape.
pullover substance
It's
that you
custom made.
And look at the handle. It's like JD Martinez's. Matthew Boyd is retired 10 in a row. Bedazzling the Red Sox through 5. Sunday Kids Day. All kids 14 and under receive a back-to-school water bottle and get to run the bases following the game. For great seats, visit tigers.com. Sorry, kids, I had to read that, back to school. I know what you're thinking right now.
Didn't you like going back to school, Shep?
I can't say that I did. No.
But it's
Not even the first day, Shep. You got your new shoes, your new outfit. You were ready to see all your old friends.
New shoes. How do you know they weren't hand-me-downs?
Well, I don't know.
You're right. No, there's something that you anticipate in that first day back to school, right? Sort of like Leonis Martin coming back into the lineup for the first time in a while since July 2nd.
Hopefully he's not he's not the student. Hopefully he's the teacher.
Yeah, let's hope so in this matchup. Martin flew out to JD Martinez in the third.
1-0. Bottom 5. Tigers have 3 hits.
Pretty darn good against this offense so far. All 3 Tigers hits came in the last inning, and they were all in succession to lead off the fourth. Goodrum, Candelario, and Castellanos, but they were left stranded.
Pretty good fastball there in the outside corner. When you're a left-handed batter right now, you're on a fastball like Simo always says, but you're guarding against that breaking ball. And so they throw that fastball and then it's by you before you can react. That went off the plate though.
Third strikeout of the night for David Price.
That wasn't fair. Well, let's take a look. Here's the old bat. Starts away, and he drops one in. Look at that arm speed. Ball starts right about where you'd see a fastball coming and disappears.
This is the David Price we saw so often as a member of the Tigers. Price with Detroit, 13-8 with a 2.9 ERA.
Well, you knew coming back to Detroit, David Price would have a little extra motivation.
That one right back up the box, but deflected, and Bogarts can't handle it. That was scalded.
Yep, first pitch, he gets another glove on it, right to Bogarts. Can't cleanly secure it. Jacoby came up last time, hit a ball to right center field. JD Martinez could have peeked, didn't. Paid the price. Took it straight into the wall.
Yeah, that's a good point by you. Otherwise, the shoulder separation is more at risk. How much does it help that he's patrolled that right field so frequently in his Detroit days?
Absolutely, it does. Yes. But there's a determination and a high level of concentration. Because when you're running and you're watching the ball, your peripheral field changes in your body, your brain. You know the wall's coming up. So your first inclination is to peek, see where you're at. Well, then, about the time you peek, you get knocked down.
1-1 now to Jacoby Jones.
Because the wall's there. So, it's just like if you're ever a receiver in football. Go across the middle, you see that linebacker, that free safety there. You just gotta keep running. Just tell yourself ball. Keep your eye on the ball.
Or for you, it's just that fly route, right, to burn the corner.
No, I went across the middle a lot, and that was a bit. There's people there that come after you, and you just fly road and do it too if you get open, right?
Sure. Got the safety coming over the top.
Football season will be here pretty soon.
Lions open up training camp on the 26th next week.
Wow.
A week from yesterday. Yep.
Any holdouts?
I don't think so. They just signed Ziggy Ansah to the franchise tag. Craig Monroe like 17 mil, I believe. So
yeah, Simo's got it buried everywhere.
Yes, he does. Yeah, there's a Gibson jersey.
It's an old Tigers jersey. They changed the logo on the Tiger D, so
that was a road jersey right there, though.
Yeah, it was. That was early 80s.
Count is full now to Jacoby Jones, fighting his way through an 0 for 9 stint, a 1 for 12, and a 2 for 19 if you want to extend it. And as Simo brought up about Nico Goodrum earlier not having to look over his shoulder, Jacoby Jones can say the same thing. Ron Gardenhire constantly reminds him, you're in this lineup every night.
Yeah,
I think he's going to have a big second half. I'm seeing a lot of positive in his swing.
Golfed foul.
Well, his strikeout rate has went down this year. It may still seem, I think it's around 30%, and that's a good improvement so far, and he's got to continue to go in the right direction. But
well, I had a real nice conversation with him, Gibby, and that's one of the things that he told me that he was trying to do is slow the game down and not feel like he has to swing at every pitch and be in control of his at-bats. And I think he's doing it thus far.
Probably the hardest thing for a young player. He'll take the walk. And the Tigers got something brewing here in the 5th with one down.
Like that they had Iglesias on the move.
Yeah, I do.
Guys, I got company. I got company down here. I've got company down
You
here.
have company everywhere
no,
you
no,
go.
I've got company. Come on. I've got company down here, guys. I got Zoom.
Got a dog.
Zoom. I got my brother here with
all
me.
right.
You know it, baby.
It's good to see you, brother.
It's always a pleasure to see you, big bro.
See, this is 2006 at its finest here, guys.
Boom, right there, all day, every day.
Those
We
are matching
absolutely love it.
rings.
Yep. I love
We
you,
worked
big bro.
hard. I love you too, brother.
Oh, man, you know it. I'll let you get back to work.
All right, thank you. Good to see you. It's just family,
Good
you know.
dude.
We're just family.
Yeah, really good dude. You remember the Jim Leland story when he and Justin Verlander were brought north, and Jim Leland said, if I don't bring these guys who might have been our best pitchers in spring training, if I don't bring them, I lose credibility in that clubhouse. Had to bring them. Goodrum fouls it back, and he's in an 0-2 hole.
David Price, he just attacks. He gets guys scoring position. He just attacks.
He is aggressive, isn't he?
Not a nibbler. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Ball's up and in. Threw the first one pretty much out of third, right over the heart of the plate. Nico, you hitter, sometimes you think, okay, I swung at first pitch. He's going to throw me something off speed. I'm going to look in the area and he'd take it. Looked like what happened there. Now he's ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Ooh, miss.
Tough one to take. First time Price has started against Detroit since July of 2014. 5-1 in his career at the Tigers' expense. And he's allowed 2 earned runs or less in 5 of his 6 starts. That was really tight. Good speed on the base paths for Detroit. If Goodrum could find a gap. Singled his last time up. One of 4 Tiger hits on the night.
Now, if you're a base runner, you got 1 out. You're down by a run. You should both be turning around, looking where the outfielders are. It gives you a better idea what's going to go down when the ball's hit.
Also want to make sure too, Gibby, as you consistently talked about when I played for you, with you, it's you got to freeze on a line drive.
You can see they're way off the left field line, playing him over towards right field and kind of pinch the right center field gap.
Broken back grounder. Could be 2. Lynn couldn't get it out of his glove. And the Tigers are still alive.
Seeing some more aggressiveness. When they first came out with this new rule, everybody was just running out of the line. And finally somebody said something. You got to go to the base. Got to make him feel you coming any way you look at it. Does he peek a little bit? Does he try and rush it? Did he even have this in his glove?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Can you replay that?
He keeps saying, you sit down a little bit.
Jamer Candelario will stand in. Yeah, he had it. Yeah, it was in the transfer.
A lot of people flip the ball. You want to try and get your hand in there and grab it without flipping it.
Kind of an off-balance throw from Bogarts. Off-speed start to Candelario's at bat. Candelario singled last time up, 1 for 2 so far tonight. Hit the ball hard in both at bats.
Candy's been struggling, but I see him coming out of it.
Need those numbers with runners in scoring position to bump up a little bit.
Simo, you still wake up there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
You see your boys telling you to come with him, isn't he?
No, it's always good to see your teammate, and I took him under wing as my little brother, and extremely excited to see him today.
Maybe you'll see him tonight too.
Maybe.
There goes Goodrum. What do you think of that, Gibby?
The run?
I like it a lot.
Lull him asleep and go.
Sure.
Simo, could you see the runner going from right side of the box? Would you take it if you saw him going?
Yeah, I could see him. I could see him going, but my focus had to be on the ball. So I would try to. I mean, I would try not to see him, but in your peripheral, you do see him.
Yeah. Some like to take it and get the guy to second base. Others don't feel comfortable.
Big strikeout for David Price. Wiggles out of a second consecutive jam. Craig Monroe, we'll see you on Tigers Live postgame. Thank you, my
guys.
friend.
I enjoyed it, like always.
Services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. By Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's Chevy Truck Month. Bring on the new and hand down the old. Chevrolet, find new roads. Ron Gardenhire's team has out-hit the Red Sox, but they trail 1-0. Ron Gardenhire looking forward to the second half. Even he said he needed a bit of a break because even though he's been doing this a long time, it never gets any easier. Need a little chance to recharge the battery, and he did so by seeing his grandkids and taking them to swimming lessons every day. Down in Oklahoma, I asked him if being the grandfather is the same as being the bench coach. You know, if you're the parent, you're the manager.
Correct.
The grandfather can be the bench coach. He said that's a pretty good way to describe it, because I get the kids all sugared up, I get them all fired up, and leave them with my with my kids. He'd be a fun grandfather, wouldn't he? Be a blast. Benintendi ahead in the count 3-1 as Matthew Boyd works here in the 6th. 90 pitches deep. And Benintendi singled and scored back in the 1st and flew out to right in the 3rd. Benintendi is one of 5 major leaguers with 100 hits or more, 50 ribbies or more, and 15 stolen bags or more. Foul down the left field line. Mookie Betts is another one of those 5. So Boston boasting a couple of guys on that list.
So far they've been able to get Benintendi. Only the single kept him from scoring in the 1st.
Sharp ground ball. Second time he's hit through the shift.
And that's another hard hit ball. Speaking of hard hit balls, this guy here coming up, JD Martinez. Here's the Chevrolet's most dependable player, and this is the largest difference between hard contact and soft contact. JD Martinez at top, 41%. You see Nicholas Castellanos, he's 5th at 36%. The AL average is 17.9%. So JD,
that's something, isn't it?
Nicholas is twice as often that he's hitting the ball hard. And this is how we're talking about hard hit balls. teams track, they don't just track hits like they used to. And then OPS, actually it was on base percentage, was one of the early things in sabermetrics that they weighed more heavily, because they wanted guys who were on base. They felt they could score more runs.
Yeah.
Okay, and now they've evolved into OPS. I mean, they have many different metrics. You can go to bizdata.com. You can go to Fangraphs, Baseball America. They all have different stats. They all weigh. They have formulas that they weigh different things. And this particular one that we're looking at is weighing the hard hit ball against the soft hit ball, and they define it. If it's just hard hit, it's not like finite enough, because what if you hit a hard hit ball and it goes over the wall and the guy grabs it? It's an out.
Right.
So you get penalized in the old system, but now they put more weight on it, like that's a success. You got a guy on first, ball's hit between the first and second baseman, run 4 hops, that's a hit. So it's falsely awarding somebody. That's not a great hit ball, because balls on the ground is less than 20% are hits. So they're looking at launch angle, velocity, something that we've talked about. Keep throwing over there, Matt. So they're looking at all these different factors, the velo and the angle and the direction. So they have data from years and years that will suggest the value of the ball hit like that. Does that make sense?
Sure.
It's getting kind of deep, so interject
That's
there
good.
if you're thinking I need to clean it up.
No, I was going to say that list was strictly for the American League. A former Tiger is tops in the majors. Gino Suarez, the third baseman
That's
for the
true.
Reds.
So they figure every ball that's thrown or hit has value, and they're trying to determine the value in a more intricate and more finite sense. So like a line drive, you're going to get rewarded. We had one, I looked here in the first inning, we had some line drives earlier in the game, one to shortstop, and Matt Boyd's going to get a visit.
Rick Anderson spots something there, do you think, Gibby?
Yep, just getting off base a little bit, but you know, there's an expected batting average in OPS for a ball hit in a certain way. So when your kids are coming up to the minor leagues, right, they're tracking this now. The Tigers have a system in place.
Well, you have to, don't you?
Well, you got a bunch of kids. If you go by average, you might falsely pick the wrong guy. One guy might have a higher average, but got more because he hits behind a guy who's on first base a lot. Maybe he got more hits between first and second.
Yeah, it doesn't tell the whole story, does
So
it?
they don't exactly just go average. And whether the ball's hit hard, they look into it much deeper.
Martinez had one of those hard hits at the All-Star game, his first time up, on a 1-for-3 night in Washington.
And I was talking about here, minor leagues, amateur, they're doing it all over.
Fouled on the right field line, but too long of a gallop for Goodrum. 2-2. Maybe Rick Anderson was talking to Matthew Boyd about Andrew Benintendi. Benintendi with 17 stolen bases on the year. That's 5th most in the American League, but he's #1 in stolen base percentage. Gibby, he's good for 94.5%.
One time.
That's crazy.
Caught one time.
That's more than just speed, man. That is a good read on the pitcher and the right count.
And
right?
a good sense when to go.
Right.
Matt Boyd had a really good success, but as of late, somebody's had something on him that got passed around the league.
This could be 2. Oh, pulled Goodrum off the bag.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, you probably heard me verbalize, take your time. You always want to get one out. It looked like he stepped on the side of the mound or something. Look at, and that ball took off. And great effort to stop that from going into the outfield. See Nico's broke down there just in case it goes wide. He can react to athletic position.
That's really too bad because that's exactly what you wanted.
It was.
And Ron Gardenhire's made a move. Matthew Boyd solid through 5, but leaves 2 men on and his team trailing by 1.
True moment. Matt Boyd out of the game right now, but overall a pretty good game. Had a real good breaking ball tonight. High heater away, kept them off balance. This is a very good hitting team. In the end, turns out he gets to the air here at the end, and little bow locker right there. Look at how many sliders and breaking balls. He really had that pitch working. Pretty good effort. He's disappointed as he got taken out of the game. 5+ innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks and 6 Ks, 98 pitches. So, you know, he made a mistake right there, and Gardy made the decision. He's going to be 100 to 110 pitch guy. So do you take him now or do you take him later? He had the right-hander due up, so he decided to turn him over to Lewis Coleman. And Matt's not happy.
No, he's not.
But
and you get a guy like Ron Gardenhire coming in saying, listen, let's get to concentrating on what Lewis Coleman has to do here. We'll do the Matthew Boyd discussion a little bit later on. 26th appearance for Lewis Coleman in our Wallside Windows pitching change. 26th game.
Steve Pearce, he's pretty good against righties, but Coleman's got the good slider, and that's what Gardy's banking on, looking for that double play. Just missed the double play on the previous hitter, J.D. Martinez. Got to stay down there with it. You got to make a good pitch. Can't give in.
Righty's batting .263 against Coleman. Needs a double play ball here, Gibby.
Would help. Then you got to get Bogarts after him. There you can see the.
Love that graphic.
Yep, it's great. Got 3 guys in the majority. You can see that pretty much in every hitter.
Take a grounder to short here, wouldn't you?
They know where to play.
Look out. Well, there's the netting that helps things right there, because Steve Pearce couldn't hold on to the bat. That would have found its way into the 5th or 6th row.
These guys, they use it's like a stick.
And you could see, look in the background, you could see so many people not paying attention, and it's easier to do that now because the netting is up.
This stuff right here, I like that. That's tar and rosin. Look at it, look like it's a picture, and you got a circle. It's an old kids game, huh? I don't know what they call that. It's sticky stuff, but it's so sticky it can let go of the tire if you do it right. It's perfect.
Fred Biletnikoff-esque. Pierce caught looking.
There's the good ball locker for the first out of the inning.
You remember Fred Biletnikoff, don't you?
One of my favorites from the Rangers.
He and Lester Hayes would have that stick them all over themselves. That's a really good pitch right there.
Little 12-6 action from the sidearm. Gone.
7th strikeout by a Tigers pitcher tonight. Here's Xander Bogaerts.
Watch inside. He was quick in there. Bogaerts looking for the slider. Got the heater.
Daniel Stumpf and Buck Farmer warming up. Bogaerts has 20 extra base hits with runners in scoring position. Best in the bigs. Benintendi stands at second. JD Martinez at first.
I think you'll see Stump for Moreland. And if he has to, bring Farmer in for Nunez.
Always thinking ahead.
Lefty and the lefty and the righty. Although you look at Nunez, he's actually better against righties. But 0 for 6 with runners in score position. So just digest that and tell me what you want to do. You could sit here and get mesmerized by all the numbers.
That's the beauty, but also the challenging part of baseball. You get so caught up in numbers where your mind starts playing tricks on itself.
Moreland's pretty good. Runners in scoring position, 357.
Bogaerts waits on the 2-1 offering. Three and 1.
So as I sit here and recite all these numbers, nowadays, I believe, well, I know Gardy has this. The Tigers organization provides it. They come up with a number based upon their formula. Like, I don't know what it is, and it's their proprietary information that they store. And Gardy knows, and the managers around the country know, if this number and that number, they add them and subtract them, it's within a certain range, you do this. It's in a certain range, you do that. Love to get my hands on one of those.
Me too. Of course,
I
need you to decipher it. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Coleman. It's now full. Bogaerts, by the way, hit the go-ahead homer in the first inning on Sunday, just before the break. He hit the walk-off grand slam Saturday. First time that he's had consecutive plate appearances and homered in his career.
Wow. Played him a little bit to right center. The center field is in the outfield.
Got the grounder he needed, but only going to get one.
Boy, he got down there. I think he's going to bang at first. He's called out. Will they change it?
Oh boy.
He's safe.
Yeah, he sure is. He is safe.
Ron Renicky, next manager of the Brewers.
Yeah. Former Baltimore Oriole, right?
Bench coach, yeah. He's on Mike Scioscia's staff. They won it early 2000s. They're going to review this. I think they're going to win it.
Yeah, we showed you two pretty decisive looks. It should not take them long. Bogaerts knew it right away, and he's not moving either. That's the perfect look right there. That's all you need.
Well, hopefully they make a mistake, or we're seeing it wrong.
If they make the mistake here, what's the point of
Yeah,
Instant
they
replay.
said he's safe.
Yeah, sure.
Here comes Gardy. For Moreland. Gardy knows Moreland will not be pinch hit for. He's going to go left on left.
Daniel Stumpf makes his way in. Third Tigers pitcher of the night in a 1-0 Boston lead. The Tigers representative in the All-Star game was, well, perfect. All he was required to do is face one batter, Brandon Crawford, the outstanding shortstop for the San Francisco Giants, and he struck him out.
That would be perfect for all parties involved. Joe liked it, got in and out. One batter got to pitch in the All-Star game and do all the festivities. Or else I win those pitching change is Daniel Stumpf. 33rd game. Anyway, the Tigers had to like it too, one hitter. So you kind of get a little bit of a break. You didn't throw for 4 days in a game, except for the one hitter. So it worked good, and Joe hopefully is on his way.
Asked Ron Gardenhire about watching Joe Jimenez, and he said, I didn't get a chance to watch him. I was in Oklahoma. I was with the grandkids, but I hustled out, tried to get some service, and I saw what he did. He was really happy for him and told him as much before the game today. Mitch Moreland, who's having a career year, coming into the game today, his last 8 appearances against the Tigers, batting .419.
He's got some pop in that bat. Benintendi, Martinez, and Bogarts on the bags.
Really good speed on the corners. Pop up. Infield fly rule. Huge out.
Gardy gonna come get him, or is he gonna? He's got nowhere to put him. You got Eduardo Nunez, who's hitting .218 against lefties, .269 versus righties, but 0 for 6 runners in scoring position. And he's going to get him. Here comes Buck. You're going to see who can do what.
of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. By your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com and see why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. 1-0 Red Sox alongside two-time world champion Kirk Gibson. I'm Matt Shepard. Glad you could join us on this Friday night. Matthew Boyd pretty strong. 4 pitchers now for the Tigers. Ron Gardenhire playing the percentages here with Buck Farmer.
That's what he's going to do this second half. He wants to see who's going to be able to pitch in certain situations for him. He went lefty on lefty. Daniel did his job. Now Buck Farmer's coming in to do his job. You look at this game, the Red Sox got 1 run in the first. Tigers have made a mistake, a couple of mistakes that have cost them maybe 1 on the bases, you can say. Yeah, you didn't know that he's going to throw it wild. But
well, what have they done against this potent Boston offense that has made them so successful, this pitching staff so far?
They've thrown the ball well, kept them off balance. They've had good secondary pitches, and they've good game plan. McCann's done a good job. He's got the pitchers throwing to him, trusting him. So the Tigers, what are they, 10-5 their last 15 games? Did I read that somewhere, or somebody told us on our conference call?
Well,
they played them well.
No, they're 10-7 against Boston since 2016. Farmer to face Eduardo Nunez. Wallside Windows pitching change. The 4th pitcher of the night for Detroit. Matthew Boyd started. Then Lewis Coleman, Daniel Stumpf, and now Buck Farmer. Missed the corner.
Now, if you want to see what how good a guy is, you bring him into something. Now, look at the Tigers. He's way over. They're playing this whole area over here, this gap. Lone Ranger, straight up, basically right there. You're an outfielder, you line up right through the bags. If you're down here, take a look. They're lined up first base, second base. 3-0.
This is not the way Buck Farmer wanted to approach the at-bat of Eduardo Nunez. Nunez grounded to second in the second, flew to left.
He's going to take this one, yeah.
Sure, I would too.
Bucks, all of them have been glove side away. Now, some of the veteran pitchers, what they'll do here, 3-1, you know he's got to throw another strike. They'll just throw that BP fastball. They'll just take a little bit off it. They're used to Bucks 92 to 95. Just throw a little 87, 88, just down there, just get him out in that front foot. Try and get that ground ball.
Now it's full. Advantage back to the pitcher in this situation, Gibby?
I think so. I don't know really. I mean, 3-2 counts. We'll have to look that up. I'm not sure what if you would have I don't know if you'd call it an advantage, but it's close to even.
Runners will be on the move. Barely stayed alive.
You see, there's the difference. 3-1, it was easy for him to take the borderline pitch. 3-2, it's really a ball. But you just get anxious. It's just what you do, you know. It's just there's different mindset. You know, you got to protect. Likes the fastball.
To right. Castellanos. That's big.
Huge.
We head to the bottom of the 6th. Tigers need 1 to tie. Good job by the Tigers bullpen.
two were traded for each other in a sense. 2 starters, 5 innings each. You see the hits. Matt Boyd gave up 1 run. David Price has shut the Tigers out up to this point. 6 strikeouts for Matt Boyd and only 4 for Price. But Tigers got to get to him now. Matt Boyd's out of the game, and he will not be getting the win, but he could spit the hook as far as being able to get the loss.
That trade, by the way, was July 30th, 2015. It was Boyd, Daniel Norris, and Jairo Lambor.
Jairo Lambor, I think he's out of the system now, isn't he?
Excuse me, swing by Castellanos, who's 1 for 2.
Good
Singles
cutter
last time
inside,
up.
yeah.
What are you seeing from David Price that'll give Red Sox fans some hope?
Yeah, again,
good.
this is a good cutter. Once this ball comes out, he doesn't really see it. He's just self-defense. He's taking the hump out of it, and you can't see it that way.
Got him looking.
If you look at that at bat, that's paint and paint.
It's 5 strikeouts now for David Price.
I mean, this is the perfect pitch. It's borderline inside. Look at that. Cutter in, fastball away, right on the black. You're just hoping he doesn't call it, but he does. Nichols down. Dixie's due for a home run.
Has 9 on the year.
It'd be a good time to do it. Get the Tigers, get this game tied up, and go to work.
Yanked foul. Asked John Hicks, what'd you do during the break? So I did my honeydew list. Went back to Virginia in his house. He and his wife bought a home just a couple of weeks before spring training. So he got married, then bought a house, and he went back to work on the house a little bit. Although he will admit he's not necessarily a do-it-yourself. Popped it up. Center field. Mookie Betts, and there's 2 down. Purchase select seats to any Tigers home game from now until July 31st, and you'll be entered to win Cabrera and Fulmer autographed memorabilia, summer fantasy camp, dinner in the Champions Club, and more in the Bringing You Summer Sweepstakes. To enter, go to tigers.com/sweepstakes. Restrictions do apply. All right. James McCann with some fans in the stands, hoping that he can come through and maybe tie this up. By the way, we did get a correction. We were talking about Ron Reineke, and I said played for Baltimore, right? That was Gary Reineke played for Baltimore.
I played against him. Yep.
So appreciate that. Couple of punch outs for James McCann tonight. One looking, one swinging.
Yeah, perfect game here. A couple of punches and a game winner. Just tied up first.
David Price has surrendered 18 homers on the year. Hard to believe, but this is the first time he's faced Detroit since the trade.
Don't play him a lot. When they get a home and home, that's it per year. So he was hurt and been on the disabled list a couple times.
Yep. Only playing 7 times a year. Tigers went 4-3 against the Red Sox last year.
Well, you figure a 3-game series and a 4-game series.
Tigers 12-13 against the AL East so far this season. McCann skies it to right. And we're through 6. Red Sox lead at 1-0 on Fox Sports Detroit. 10, count them 10 home runs hit, an all-star game record. Joey Votto going yard there. Alex Bregman, who was the MVP. George Springer on back-to-back pitches. And something else. Now, is that as good as the 1971 All-Star game?
Reggie?
At Tiger Stadium, where you had 6 Hall of Famers hit homers. Johnny Bench, Hank Aaron, Roberto Clemente, Reggie Jackson, Frank Robinson,
Tower.
Harmon Killebrew. Yeah.
I think Reggie's went out of the stadium, actually.
You did that, right? You hit it into the lumber yard, didn't you, I believe?
I did. It's fun.
Was that a different feeling than any other home run or any ball you ever hit when you hit it that pure, that far?
Hardly felt it. It just, you could feel it was like slow motion. It was cleanly on the sweet spot of your bat, and then it bent the bat, and you didn't, like, it didn't sting at all. It was like absolute perfect spot. And just launched. It was a hot, muggy August.
Base hit for Lynn.
And anyway,
did you stand and watch it at all? Do you remember? I mean, that was a massive
didn't
blow.
stand and watch it. I kind of jogged and watched it.
Yeah, okay.
The next at bat was funner, though.
Why?
Well, I hit one bomb to center fielder, and I almost caught Lou Whitaker, who was ahead of me. He slid in and was out. And I was coming right behind him, so the umpire, Larry Barnett, stepped across the line to call him out, and I knocked him out. Ken Kaiser ran down for first base and pointed at the ball that had come out of his side pouch there.
Yeah.
And
there goes the runner. What a throw by McCann.
Wow.
Perfect.
It's quick. Accurate. Look how quick McCann gets rid of this. Accurate right on the button. Knows he's out.
That is beautiful.
A little peak right there sometimes slows you down, but you got to do it. Anyway, he
14 caught stealing, by the way.
He stepped in front of me, and I had to run into the umpire. And the ball, actually 5 balls had come out of his pouch. And Ken Kaiser pointed to a ball, said he dropped the ball. And Ralph Houk came out and said, "Where's these 5 balls?" He didn't drop it. So anyway, I was safe.
I'm surprised you would think that was more fun, though, after hitting a ball as pure as you could possibly
More
hit.
action. Just, you know, it doesn't happen a lot. And you can remember the crowd, the noise.
Yeah, I get the sense you're the kind of wide receiver back at MSU who loved the dig pattern where you cut it across the middle.
Yeah.
Hit a safety rather than being wide open on a post route. Right?
That's where the money is at right there.
Leon scalds it foul.
A little different at bats against the bullpen than you had versus Matt Boyd. It kind of shows you the Boyd had it going pretty good tonight. Really kept him off balance. Boyd had a good breaking ball, good changeup, and a good slider.
Big shift now on a 1-2 pitch for Sandy Leon. Held off.
Tell Leon, Boston they really go for the catch and throw guys right now, but Leon always seems to be scrappier against us. 2-2.
Got him swinging.
Leon goes down. That'll bring up Mookie Betts. Pretty good player, leading the league in hitting, and look at his stroke. And the way I was looking at the angle of the bat as well, I was talking about JD and Nicholas Castellanos. Look at the power. Look at that angle he's got there. We used to always try and have it as a flat bat.
Sure.
He's leaning back, and we used to call that back-legged. Look at that angle. That bat just goes down. He keeps his hands in, short to the ball. That's why he's leading the league in hitting. He's many people talk about him being the most exciting player in the game, and I'm talking about Mike Trout specifically. What do you got on that?
Is
he that good?
I think Mike Trout's that good. He's having arguably the greatest season in baseball history. I think he's incredible. My son and I were watching the All-Star game the other day, and he's 500. He bats 500 at the All-Star game. And then there was a poll from the All-Star players. The Athletic wrote about it. Said the most exciting player in the game, and the one guy you want at the plate with 2 down, and by far and away, Mike Trout was the #1 answer. But this kid's really good, man. I mean, leads the league in average slugging, OPS, the first ever Red Sox player to bat .350 and slug .690 in the first half of the season. And they've got a storied history with some incredible players.
Let me ask you a question. Is he the first guy you take on a team?
This guy, Mookie Betts? No, Mike Trout is.
Trout's your guy?
And I don't even hesitate there.
So any pitcher?
Oh, I'd take the guy who plays 160 plus games and does it day in and day out, offensively and defensively, and scares people on the base paths. How about you?
I really would have to really think that out. I may have to flip a coin in the end. What about the comments that were made over the All-Star break? We talked about that a little bit about commissioner. Do you think there was something in that, or were they
I think that might be blown out of proportion a little bit. In case people missed it, the commissioner was asked about Mike Trout and the marketing of Mike Trout, and the commissioner basically said, look, players are the ones who really decide that. They've got to make themselves a little bit more available. He's right. And if a player chooses not to, because Mike Trout finds it more important to spend time with his family and things like that, I respect that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's missing out on a lot of money, but that's his choice.
He's got a lot, and that is his choice.
I would like to see him more often, no question. Good stop by McCann.
But if you do a lot of that stuff, I believe it takes away from your performance on the field.
How? If he does more commercials?
If he has more obligations. I think routine is big in a 162 game schedule, a 35 game spring training, plus workouts every day. I think routine's good. Meditation,
right? Well, he
focus, direction.
I will say this: he does go out of his way for other things that maybe we don't put as much value on, and we should. Spending time with kids, fans, things of that nature. That draws the walk.
Well, Mike Scioscia was a teammate of mine, and he's told me on more than one occasion, Mike Trout is everything anybody could ask for.
Right.
A great teammate, great player, treats people well on and off the field. So maybe he does more, but doesn't promote himself.
And I respect that. And
You
it's
know,
one of the reasons I like. I'll tell you, the second player I might take is a guy like Francisco Lindor, Gibby, or Carlos Correa. You know, someone of that ilk. I like those players. They're playing up the middle, and they're gonna play for me every single day. I can put them in the lineup, and I don't have to worry about them.
I think Betts is going to go right here. We'll see if he's the best. He's got to go, doesn't he? 2 outs, 18. Up by a run. You got to go.
18 stolen bases.
Caught twice.
Another guy you and I were talking about during dinner while we were discussing that Mike Trout, Mookie Betts discussion. Nolan Arenado. You love him.
I loved him. He's really good. Just look at Mookie Betts. We're talking about. He's got a good lead out there. Good technique. Watch the back corner low. It's got to be that way if you're going to be a base stealer. You got to have. If you're scrambling. Comes Andy. Talk about Betts over there first. This is where the running game comes into hand when you're not even running. Not running. Look at it. Obviously is preoccupying the Tigers.
Well, here's what fans and media, and I'm throw me in there too, oftentimes say, you got 2 down, focus on the batter. But that's easier said than done, especially when you get a guy with Mookie Betts' ability and speed, and he is a stolen base away from putting his team in scoring position.
James McCann's a throw away from having like 48, 49%. So
Yeah.
I mean, it goes both ways. I'm all for it. I think the Tigers are really doing everything they can to keep Betts at first. It's again, sometimes you want to steal a base, you go off, you say, I'm going. You just yell right over to the mound. I'm going. I am going. It doesn't mean you have to, but you do want to play that game. He's a little bigger lead here. Gets back easy. And again, he goes low and he goes to the back corner. Now, obviously, you want to be low because you don't want to be jumping down. Easier target. Look, low, that back corner. He's getting back easy. He's going to go.
Yeah. He can get another foot off the back. Holding tight. 2-0 to Benintendi.
This would be a good count to go on. Although I would peek. Like I would have a sign right here with the batter, which is usually with Tram Benintendi, and I'd say if I go, I'll peek, you hit.
3-0. Benintendi, the only player tonight on either roster with a multi-hit game. 106 hits now on the year for Andrew Benintendi.
And has scored the only run.
Back in the first, thanks to the RBI double from Steve Pearce. Back-to-back walks issued by Buck Farmer.
Well, you just walked 2 guys. That's 8 balls. Now you're facing the guy that leads the major leagues in batting average on the first pitch. 523, 7 home runs, 18 RBI.
And he'll see a new pitcher, a man who was brought up because of Michael Fulmer. We'll explain when we come back. Is now available at a lower price. For $82.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. Victor Alcantara is in for the Tigers. He was just recalled from Toledo because of his solid performance with the Mud Hens and because Michael Fulmer, with an oblique strain, has been placed on the 10-day DL. And for his efforts, Alcantara gets the best run producer in the major leagues.
You want to get ahead? We have a wall side windows pitching change. Victor Alcantara, his 4th game with the Tigers. Doesn't walk a lot. Facing J.D. Martinez. Loves the first pitch. Bases are first minute runner on his first and second. This all happened. This all started with back-to-back walks with 2 outs.
Watch the first pitch to him. Grounds it foul. Martinez, last 21 games coming in, 32 hits, 26 runs. I mean, here's a guy who has reached base safely in 57 of his 131 plate appearances. That's really
pretty good
impressive
ratio.
stuff. Oh, man. Off the chart stuff.
45%.
0-2 to him. Martinez with 39 multi-hit games, 25 multi-RBI games. Both lead the bigs. Very good speed on the base paths for the Red Sox. Missed it tight.
Good try, good location on the miss. In tight has a kind of a big result of feel. Hitters don't like it in there. It makes you rush. Leaves you susceptible to the outside pitch.
Fisted it. That is the definition of clutch. We stretch with the Tigers down 1 coming up the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Manny Machado prior to the trade deadline. That somebody was the Los Angeles Dodgers, and Machado made his Dodgers debut, or is making his Dodgers debut tonight. They're playing against the Brewers, and Machado on the road has a single and 2 walks in a game that is 1-1 as they play in the 6th inning. He's a rental, Shep and Gibby.
It's an expensive one.
Keats,
Yes, sir.
how's it going down there?
It's going well.
What do you think of that trade, Keats?
Who knows how good these prospects are? Kirk might know because he's more immersed in some of the organizational depth that some of these teams had. But there's lots and lots of value attached to those very young players that we don't know much about yet, but soon we shall. And the Tigers hope that some of the kids that came in those trades for Verlander and J.D. Martinez and Justin Wilson and Alex Avila turn out to be really good players at this level as well.
It's a bomb there. Well, I have seen a lot of the prospects that the Tigers have been pulling in. They got some very talented young men down there. Prospects mean just that. They're generally younger. They're prospects. They're learning how to play the organizational way. It's all timing and evaluation and teaching. And I think the Tigers have some good arms down there. They've got some good position players down there. And then I've had a chance to watch them over time. So it's exciting. And the Tigers are just like every other club. They have scouts in every ballpark. Pretty much every organization is being covered tonight. And the reports will come in and they'll plug their data in and they'll try and make good decisions. You're projecting how good this person can be and how he fits in your, you know, the way that you want to play, kind of player you want.
Well,
it's pretty neat.
The Dodgers are trying to win right now. Manny Machado said he was relieved, said he wants to win right now. Dave Roberts put him at the #2 spot in his lineup tonight. And the Dodgers are trying to give their fans something that hasn't happened since you did it in 1988. So maybe Manny Machado, does he put them now in the proverbial driver's seat in the National League?
I think it certainly puts them in there. They've been there every year, but I think it always comes down to pitching.
Okay. Cubs, Diamondbacks, some would argue the Phillies. They were playing the Brewers tonight, which, interesting enough, the Brewers were considered one of those teams in the market for a guy like Manny Machado.
He'd like it because Brewers, it's a launch pad. Ball really flies. And that dome they have over there.
Not that they have to worry about it now, but what do you do with Corey Seager next year? Maybe he becomes your second baseman. Our team.
Well, they have Justin Turner at third. They love him.
And
he's a gritty, gamey gamer. Machado, you know, Machado could move. Turner could move.
Where's Turner going to go? Outfield?
He could go to second base probably as well. He could go to outfield. You know, these things always, when you get stumped, they always seem at some point to take care of themselves. You know what I'm saying?
You hope so.
So you're thinking in today's term, with everybody healthy, what am I going to do?
Sure. Our team was all over that.
But a lot going on around baseball for sure.
Well, it's an exciting time, don't you think? I mean, this trade deadline is one of the more exciting times until you reach the postseason for baseball. You and I were talking earlier today on the Cleveland move.
They needed another arm in their bullpen. They got Brad Hand from the Padres.
Good one.
Really good setup guy.
Yep.
Could be a closer if they need him to. If Cody Allen goes down.
I'm always interested to see the domino effect of Machado going to LA. Hand there going to Cleveland. Now who makes a move? Waiting for the Yankees to grab a starting pitcher. Names like Happ and DeGrom and Syndergaard and Fulmer have been thrown around a little bit by us speculating.
There's scouts here tonight looking at the Tigers, but these, you wonder, how do they know the prospects of all the other organizations? They followed them from
that hit them
from almost the day that they were drafted with another organization or before. They continue to follow them. They understand, right? One of the first guys I looked at was Lewis Brinson. He went to several organizations, and this is going to be it.
Comes Alex Cora. Has not made a motion. Now he has. Yep.
96 pitches. He's done.
First pitching change of the night for Boston as the Tigers try to scrape one across.
the bottom of the 7th inning. And David Price, a beauty. We were talking about he hasn't gone deep into many games the last 3, but he really was tough on the Tigers today, holding them to only 4 hits. Did not give up a run. You can see the velocity outside. He's got that cutter inside. Gets you looking for the ball inside. And he gets you to take the ball outside, and a good performance. Only 96 pitches. So Boston knows what they want. They're going to go to the new pitcher, Heath Hembree. This is his 42nd game, so he saw some action quite a few games. 3.79 ERA. Does have a 134 whip, which would hope that he would give us a walk or give up a couple runners, because 1.5 is about as high as you want to be.
Has stranded 17 of the 20 runners he's inherited, and knows Martin is a stolen or base stealing threat.
7 stolen, 3 caught.
Put him in motion.
Well,
1 down, you're down a run. You're in the bottom of the 7th.
Iglesias can put the bat on the ball. He doesn't strike out a lot, but however, in those situations, he doesn't seem to thrive. And I think you let Iggy hit 3-1 or 3-2. You got to do it. Yes. 94 mile an hour in the fastball from Hembree. That ball was sneaky. It was up high. Iggy swung right underneath it and went through it.
Hembree, a career best 12 strikeouts per 9 ratio. Got him swinging. Martin back in safely, and there's 2 down.
Went right up top again. Look at Leon. He goes right down there. That's why he's there. He likes to throw. He's accurate to all bases.
And like you were pointing out with Betts earlier, Martin back of the bag, front corner to get back safely.
Well, Jacoby, he's going to see some breaking balls. So if you can pick a breaking ball, it'd be a good time to go.
Walked his last time up.
So breaking ball, he's going to see a lot of them. If you're Leonis, you got to focus. You've had a chance to watch what the pitcher is going to move first. You know, is it right in this area here? Is it the hip? Does it come back first? You could clearly see that. And came over towards you. That's an easy one.
Is your mindset different now as a manager with 2 down and Jacoby Jones at the plate?
I'd hope that you'd have the green light.
Yeah.
I think guys are more successful with the green light than they are must go. Because if you don't get a good jump, you don't want to go. Same keys. You didn't hold it very long there.
Hembree has come out of that Boston bullpen and done exactly what Alex Cora had hoped he would do.
Yeah, throwing strikes.
Yeah.
Firing it. You're going to have to get out early if you want to go, Leonis.
Hembree wanted it. You can understand why. It was pretty close.
Well, if you're Jacoby and you see him going, you swing late, you're probably going to get in Leon, because he comes out of there quick. He knows that Martin may go. He is on red alert. Doesn't really seem to have a quick move. It's kind of an average. I'm paying attention to you. Move.
We don't know if we've seen his best yet, though, right?
No, they should. He's thrown over there. If he's thrown over there 50 times, they should have watched it by now. Boy, he must be hiding the ball sneaky tonight.
We're through 7. Tigers trail by 1. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. We send our condolences to our friend Mario Mpemba. His mother Rose was laid to rest today. Our thoughts are with the entire Mpemba family, especially Mario and his father Dominic, who was married to Rose for 67 wonderful years. She was 89. Rose Mpemba. We move to the 8th. Tigers trail 1-0. That one run for Boston coming in the first. Red Sox have left 8 on base. Tigers 6. Alcantara works his second inning to the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Pierce, who has the lone RBI of the night and is 1 for 3, stands in after striking out looking in the 6th, striking out swinging in the 3rd. Since joining Boston, he's hit a crisp .423 with 6 RBIs and 5 doubles. Pierce pretty good with the Orioles, hitting behind Chris Davis for a while. Boy, has Chris Davis struggled, huh, Gibby?
Well,
probably one of the bigger surprises, or can I use the word disappointment in the majors this year?
You can. I think most that play the game long enough go through those years, and they compound themselves as you get into them, and it's really frustrating and hard to get out sometimes, and he appears to be in that.
Sinking and in for his second hit of the night. Game 1 of the 3-game weekend series. Here's the upcoming pitching matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Mike Fiers against Brian Johnson.
Fiers 6-6. Mike's throwing the ball pretty good, giving the Tigers a chance to win just about every time out. 76 strikeouts, only 21 walks. Coverage begins at 5 p.m. Shep and I will be back. Game time is what, 6:10?
6:10, right. We'll be on the air. Tigers Live behind the scenes broadcast starting at 5 o'clock.
Do you like 6:10 starts that time?
I don't mind them. I think I'd probably rather have a day game. You?
Yeah, I like all the times.
You like all the times?
Yeah, noon's good. You know, you travel around the league, they have them basically every hour, one time or the other.
Tapper to third. Candelario has to hurry. This time got Bogarts.
They used to have games here at 8 And it went with 7:37. We got the 6:10. They have 4 o'clock. Look at Jammer right here. Had to read it, set his feet up so he could come in and get it and get rid of the throw quickly.
Remember, Bogarts had beaten one out on a grounder to Candelario back in the 6th.
Well, just looking at defense and the youth on the infield right now, you're going to see guys like Candy learn to make a quicker read on that. And he's, you know, like he started to charge it, and that's the general urge and feeling that many young players have, is to go get it, go get it. And that's kind of what you're taught. But you have to become better at reading the hop. You know, you're standing out on the field. When you come down here and watch batting practice someday, or just watching the game, watch the ball every hop it hits and predict where it's going to go. Because that's what you want to do. You want to beat the ball to the spot. Get your feet around, get your throwing position so you get rid of it quickly.
Then you take into the account the speed of a guy like Xander Bogaerts.
Oh yeah, you're going to have to come get it to get him.
Makes it that much more important. Moreland 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Tapper to first. Hicks with a soft toss. Then there's 2 down. John Hicks getting a little more used to first base. Talked to him earlier today about adjusting from first to catcher and back. And a lot of it has to do with footwork.
You're right. It does, and it's the initial read, and then to set your feet up like Alcantara right there. He caught the ball and immediately turned around. You've got a runner behind you at third base.
That's good on-field awareness. And I like that Hicks showed him the baseball as he was tossing it to him, too. Little things like that oftentimes matter. Here's Eduardo Nunez. 0 for 3 with a couple of flyouts. Been a good ball game. The beauty, or one of the beauties of baseball, I've always felt, is you can have a 1-0 game and still have a great amount of intrigue. It's similar to hockey. You don't need a lot of scoring.
Well, some like it. Personally, I like a mixture of it, but I prefer.
Well, this has been a good game, don't you think?
Excellent, but this, when a game's close like this, your mistakes are magnified.
Right. Punched down the right field line. Long run for Castellanos and Hicks. And neither one able to get it.
That's a communication thing.
Sure is, yeah.
Let's see if we can see if anybody's calling right there. I got it, I got it, I got it. So no, you hear him saying I got it. I'm presuming that Hicks could hear him. He's got to go the other way because you get spooked. That's why. Because if I call it, I'm going to get it. But if you got to peel off, because again, out of the side of your eyes, you can see Hicksy still coming. That's what happened right there. But Hicks hasn't played that much first. I'm not making an excuse for him. It's got to get cleaned up. Gardy would tell you that. All right, well, let's listen in and see if we can hear him.
What you always worry about is that you feel like that's an out, right? You feel like that should have been an out, and you just gave one of the better offensive teams in baseball
a chance,
an extra out, right?
Well, again, it's what things you got to work on. We talk to Gardy every day that we're here.
Starting to rain a little bit here, Gibby. This is what was expected. Right around 10 o'clock and right on the nose.
But Gardy, he talks to him about it. He's going to try and fix it. Doesn't look like it's coming down that hard.
Tapper to third. Candelario, quick release, and the Tigers are out of it. We head to the bottom of the 8th. It's been this way since the first. the rain continues to fall. Not that hard now, but many folks getting ready to run for cover if they haven't already.
Had a quick cool down there, didn't we?
Let's update the Ram pick the stick numbers, shall we?
Speaking
Not a lot of
of
points out.
deluges,
Oh,
Where are you? Let me see. Oh, it's a goose egg. You're even par for the day, Keats.
I hate to correct the scorekeeper, but I think I'm a -1.
Are you going to be honest here?
He's keeping track
I gotta
like
play
that.
golf with you.
Track, huh, Keith?
Note the date and the time because Keating was honest for a change.
That's what he does.
Look at all those goose eggs.
Goose
fellas.
egg, Shep. You all right with 1 point?
Well, not really. Look, Nick Castellanos had a point for you, but he had a strikeout. I mean, that balances
just,
it out.
Yeah,
Right?
just took my point away.
Same thing with Candelario.
sitting in the weeds here. Something's going to go down in a good fashion.
Maybe Nico Goodrum gets me another point or two here. Not on that off-speed pitch.
Ball looked high. Got the call.
Look at it this way, Keats. Even if I win, it doesn't look like I'm going to gain a lot of ground on it. Does that help you a little bit?
Well, we have this very strange relationship depending on which chair we're sitting in.
I know.
We're rooting for the other one, kind of, sort of, because we like each other generally, more so than people might believe watching our pick the stick discussions. But
Not so much during pick the stick, though.
but I have to congratulate you and Mickey York because I mean I sort of started the momentum, and then while I was away for a little bit, you guys had some very nice nights. So I appreciate that.
I would like you a lot more if you invited me to your place in Grand Haven.
Oh, I know, right?
Based on your tweets every night
you
about,
know,
I don't know, 6:30, 7 o'clock.
You'd have to get through security and the dogs. we got the pack of dogs.
Believe me, I'm used to running from trouble.
Oh,
You can see Keats
It's a
doing his
beautiful
swim
sight,
out there
though.
at 6 in the morning.
Uh-oh.
There you go. Score a run, you get a point.
I'll take it. And so will the Tigers. At least they've got the leadoff man on.
Then you'd be even. Yeah, the Tigers do get him on. Barnes, good curveball. I was going to say they have 3 relievers with really good curveballs. One's, of course, Craig Kimbrell, their closer. Matt Barnes is the other. Opponent's hitting 123 off it. Miss percentage, swing and miss, 39%. So saw Nico right there get one. Unfortunately, Sandy Leon could not block it, and we're in business here.
Barnes is not allowed to run in 34 of his 41 appearances.
Going to be breaking balls. You know you're going to get them. It's a good 12-6 straight down.
How many people at home are screaming bunt right now?
Well, I'm going to dig in here. A bunt may not in every case give you a better chance to score.
Right.
So that's kind of why it's.
I'm not a proponent. I'm just wondering. This is
Well, I'm going to see if I can look at. So we got a guy in first.
Nobody down. A left-handed hitter with power up.
So now you
Now
have,
go to
if we're
Bolt.
looking at the run matrix, which I don't have the updated, the man on first, none out. Tigers get .82 runs per instance. Major League C. Red Sox are .92. Again, I'll have to figure out exactly what this means. But you usually have
It's
it.
not possible now because he's in an 0-2 hole.
Yep.
Like a pitch out. Thinking that Goodrum would be on the move. Alex Cora, the 8th ever to win a World Series with the Red Sox and then manage that franchise. Barnes against Candelario. Swung on and missed. And the Tigers, look at Goodrum all the way to third, and he is going to be in there. That is hustle with a capital H.
So we're going to watch this. This is Well, you never let up. You don't assume. Watch it. He takes off. He's flying the whole way. He gets a good read on it. He never even slows down. Making something happen. Got the good pitching. How do you make it happen?
Man, that guy's fun to watch, Gibby.
Use your strengths.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Now, Nick Castellanos hit 400 on the first pitch.
What's his job?
We get him in and get on, but he hits 400 in the first pitch, 769 slug, got 18 RBIs. He's going to see a curveball.
You got the infield in.
Something
His
up.
job, he's got to get the ball to the outfield. Fair?
Yep. He's going to see. He's going to get a break. He's got to be a breaking ball first pitch. Oh, and a high heater.
Oh, fastball, 97 miles per.
Saw the high target, but that curveball is going to come right out of that plane. Nick 1 for 3, single in the fourth.
Tigers threatened in the fourth, had the bases loaded, nobody down, couldn't score.
What Nico just did there is fun. When you're that guy, that's fun.
Had 2 runners aboard in the fifth with 1 down, couldn't score. And now Nico Goodrum at third with 1 down.
He's going to have to watch it, make sure he gets back. Leon likes to throw to the bases. Nunez is right there, so it's not like you have a lot. You got to get down there and get back.
And people wondering maybe why Candelario was out is because first base was occupied. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to third. They're coming home, and they got Goodrum and a run.
Go, 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 go. Go to second, Nick.
And Goodrum slides in. He's going to be tagged out. Castellanos took second on the play.
Well, Tigers had Nico going on contact. It's the right play. Unfortunately, they hit it right to the third baseman, Nunez. Nico did a good job of getting in a run down here long enough so Nick could go to second. He did tag him right there. Got fatigued and could not stop stumbling there. I'll tell you what, if he didn't stumble there, he would have made it. There's what you go on contact. Read it. Stays in the pickle. There you see Nick going on to second. The Tigers still in business. Base hit gives them a tie game. The home run gives them a winner.
Now you said they had him going on contact. That's the right play. Why is it the right play?
You only have, in my opinion, it's your best chance. You got your best hitter up there. You're betting that it's not going to be hit directly to the third baseman. You got one of your best runners. Look, he's walking down. If you don't go on contact and it's hit to a little bit to his side, he doesn't score. So, I mean, you got your best runner, you got your best hitter. You've got, at that time, you've got 4 outs left, 5 outs left. I would have done the same thing. Come on, Hicksy. This hook. Hang it.
Hicks 0 for 3. A grounder to short, a fly out to left and center.
If you could sit hook. He's a fastball hitter. Hopefully he hangs it. That's a big breaker. That's not an easy one to just come off out of your shin guards and get a piece of it.
1-1.
And he's half looking for that. That's a good snapper. The other thing is you want to watch the catcher. Many times the catcher will get up on his haunches on a breaking ball. Fastball, he'll sit down a little more. We'll get a look at him when he gets in here. Gives him signs.
Tying run at second.
See if he stays down like that. Many times it's a fastball. He's going to get up late, so you wouldn't be able to see it in time.
Laid off it.
Kind of late, jumped there kind of late. Just a couple ways you can see kind of out of the corner of your eye sometimes. Many people are not, many players aren't comfortable with that. Some are. You should have already studied this from the dugout. Hopefully somebody's watching. You can pick something up. The guy's got good stuff.
Good stop by Leon. They say Hicks swung at it. It's 2-2.
Barnes is looking like something's not right. Yeah, he went.
He sure did.
See him jumping. I mean, he's throwing 97. The curveballs, low 80s.
What are you guessing here?
I'm looking for a hook. I just try and foul the fastball off. Fastball.
Another good stop by Leon.
Leon's quick back there. That's tough. Like Craig Monroe, Tram, I know those guys all stayed on the fastball. I could not do that. I don't know how Hicks has to do it. I had to look hook and hopefully that I could just get a piece of the fastball and hope that he hung a breaking ball.
He'll take the bag.
Point. Remember what I said about McCann earlier?
Yeah, you felt like he's coming out of it.
I said this is a good game. 0 for 2, couple of punchies and a game winner. These are the games that you have to play with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to put yourself in the right frame of mind. You got to dream about it. You got to want it. That guy's good. He's got a nasty fastball. He's got a good hook. He's got to, I believe you got to just kind of create positive moments and comfort when you get into that situation.
Well, he is good. He's among American League relievers. He's tied for first in holds and 7th in opponent batting average. I mean, opponents are batting just $1.66 against him. He's got 20 holds on the year, Gibby. Had a hold against Toronto on Saturday in his last appearance last weekend.
Can only think of one. Didn't James hit a home run not too long ago for a game winner?
I believe so.
Read some good vibes for the kid.
Big moment here.
He's going up high. The Tigers have laid off. It's just barely high, and they're getting the call. He was taking all the way. It's like a chess game up there mentally. Ooh.
Couldn't pull the trigger. 98. Pouring in a fastball to make it 1-1.
Looks to me like he was sitting hook. Maybe it was just a take.
See the defensive positioning for Boston.
Hicks has got to watch out. You can sneak in behind him.
Curveball drilled down the left field line. Foul.
That'd been a beauty. That would have scored 2.
Sure would. McCann very relaxed. Asked him what he did during the break. Went home to Tennessee and spent some quality time with the Twins. And said it's just awesome to see them doing different things every day. Really relaxed him.
Hope everybody had a good time, led up to their expectations.
Now you refocus. And he does here on a 1-2 pitch. Stayed alive.
Boy, James. It's a good battle. Even though he was way out in front.
It's like we were talking about earlier in the broadcast. Some of those pitches you just foul off to wait for your pitch.
So if you're the hitter and that breaking ball is coming in, you just took 198 up top. So you have to decipher whether that's a fastball or a curveball coming out of there. It's quick.
Another foul.
99. Good job, James, by keeping yourself alive. Look how short. He just throws the bat at the ball. He's protecting. Here's the two-seamer. Look at he just can't hit that ball fair. Just spoil it. Hope that he hangs one to you. Let's step out here.
Barnes wins the battle, and the Tigers strand 2 more.
It's still a 1-0 game. The Boston Red Sox roll in having won 40 of their last 56 games. You're only going to get so many chances to beat this Red Sox team, and you could probably make the case the Tigers have had their chances to do just that so
Keith,
far.
that's the positive in today's ball game. The guys are getting on base. They are having opportunities. The disappointing part is they haven't been able to cash in. Hopefully, in the bottom of this 9th inning, the Tigers are able to come back and get a big victory.
All right, post-game reaction to all of this, hopefully on the other side of a Tiger victory as we get set to play the 9th inning. Back we go to Shep and Gibby, guys.
Look forward to it, fellas. Thank you, Joe Jimenez, Detroit's All-Star, is on for the 47th time this season.
Really coming into his own this year.
How much does an All-Star appearance matter from a confidence standpoint for a guy like Joe Jimenez?
Well, you come back confident with a good performance. Joe got the only batter he faced, but you know he's in a pretty good lineup right here. If he gets in some trouble here, it's short-lived, but your belief and your calmness, I think, goes up when you get selected to the All-Star team. A.J.
Hinch said Jimenez was going to be in one situation, and that was to relieve someone who was in trouble, and that's how he used him. And he got Brandon Crawford of the Giants, who's a really good shortstop. I think an underrated shortstop.
Defensively, really good.
Oh yeah,
Crawford. We've had many endeavors against him. And
you know, there are so many good shortstops in the game today, don't you think? I mean, it's. I don't know if I've ever seen it so deep at that position at one time.
Well, your shortstops, you'd argue, if you had to pick one most athletic player on your team, at what position? I mean, catcher is, but I think shortstop.
Yeah.
And Tram always, smart alecky, reminds me of the best athletes at shortstop for reasoning. but they are pretty good, and you know they're just so quick and make plays, and the arm strength has gone up in the pitching. I think it's gone up in overall and middle infielders as well. Shortstops, they can throw from any angle. They have to learn to throw it going to their left, to their right, and they scoop it barehanded.
Trevor Thompson.
Well, guys, Joe Jimenez was telling me about his all-star experience. Of course, he enjoyed the time there and meeting all of the players, but he said he's not going to go to the mound every time now and think, I'm an all-star. But he did say going there did stir a hunger within him to return to the Midsummer Classic as a player. So, guys, certainly, Gibby, that's something you can relate to. When you get a taste of that, you want to go back and taste it again and again and again. It's like winning.
Yeah, if
you can't get enough.
If it tastes good, absolutely.
And, Trev, didn't he tell you, I mean, it didn't necessarily change his mindset. He didn't really go into that all-star appearance feeling any differently than he does maybe even a game like tonight, right?
He told me he took the exact same approach. There were no butterflies, no nerves, anything. He just went in there and acted like it was every other appearance. I asked him, how did you do that? He said, I don't know. I was just calm about it.
Yeah. Not until you finish the job, then you have to feel how you really felt. Because, you know, when you're competing, it's a great controller of your mind. If you focus it in the right direction, it's powerful.
Pulled the string on Leon. You know what else I liked about it is that Joe Jimenez had a purpose in the offseason. Came in the best shape of his career, lost some weight, worked really hard. It pays off. When something like that pays off, you're more apt to do it again, right? In this upcoming offseason.
Well, his slider is way better than it was last year. He has much better command of it. Then you throw that. 96.
2 strikeouts in a row for Joe Jimenez.
Good riding fastball. Got a nice late finish. Looks like it's close, but this ball's taken right off. Couple sliders. 2-seamer. It's got late life. No shot.
And now all-star against all-star as Mookie Betts stands in. Done a nice job against one of the best hitters in the game right now. Betts with a couple of strikeouts and an 0 for 3 night, but he did walk in the 7th to extend his on-base streak to 20 straight games now. Fly ball left center. Jones is under it. Sparkling performance from Jimenez, and the Tigers are up for their last at bats against one of the best, if not the best, closer in the game. Stay with us.
High hopes for the Tigers to try and steal this one from the Red Sox, who've led from the opening frame. Andrew Benintendi, the only player with a multi-hit game and scored the game's lone run so far. Brock Holt was injured in the fourth. Nick Castellanos continues to rake, as he's done all season long, his 116th hit. But now they face, Gibby, you could argue the best closer in baseball, Craig Kimbrel.
Well, he is right now. The numbers don't lie. He throws 98, 99-mile-an-hour fastball, 86-mile-an-hour curveball. Throws it about 35% of the time. And nobody's hitting the curveball.
Nobody's hit him, period. 30 saves for an 8th straight year. That joins Mariano Rivera, 9 straight years, and Trevor Hoffman, 8 straight years, as the only pitchers in Major League Baseball history to do so.
Opponents hitting .097 against the curveball with a miss rate of 58%. That's almost 6 out of 10 times. That's way over the average.
And opponents hitting just 144 against it. Huge shift.
So now that we've told you those numbers, it'll make you feel really good if you overtake them, beat them.
Sure would.
40 2/3 innings, 62 strikeouts. Victor gets on, we'll have a runner.
3 saves in his career against Detroit. 2 of those 3 coming in this ballpark. One and 2.
98. Kimbrel's been started in Atlanta. Just gotten better and stayed healthy. Victor hanging in there.
Kimbrel has converted all 21 of his save chances since May 10th.
And I think Kimbrel will be real careful with the breaking ball against Victor. He knows he's a veteran guy. That might play right into his hands. Victor's, that is.
2 and 2.
Veteran guys been around as long as Victor. Sometimes your bat slows down a little bit, but you'd like it when they try and trick you.
Lefties hitting 158 against Kimbrel this year. Made the All-Star team, but did not participate. Was left in the bullpen for the American League. Martinez not going quietly. Kimbrel has 321 career saves. It's tied for 18th all-time on the Major League Baseball all-time list. .96 of those coming in a Boston Red Sox uniform. Now it's full.
Give it up.
Victor Reyes, I would guess, is warming up to be a pinch runner in case Victor Martinez gets on.
He had a nickname. What do you think it is?
Who, Reyes?
Kimbrel.
Oh, Kimbrel? Praying Mantis, I thought, is what many people thought he was because of the way he sets up here.
Dirty Craig.
Dirty Craig. Okay.
Come on, Victor.
That works too.
Get it. Clean him up.
Sky to center.
Ball's not going anywhere tonight.
It was a battle, but it was won by the Boston Red Sox closer. 1 down.
Good AB. Really, the last at bat, he hit a ball well to the center field as well. It's almost out to the warning track, so Good swings, but nothing to show for Victor tonight.
$33,817 on a Friday night in Detroit. Watching this one. Red Sox in search of their 35th roadkill, Gibby, the 34 most in the majors.
Most teams don't win on the road as much as they do at home. I think the reasons are obvious. It's kind of like sleeping in a strange place. You wouldn't sleep as good as in your own place, I would think. See, you understand the backdrop right here, the way the field's going to play. It goes down into the corner.
Tough spot for Martin.
You know, that rained a couple innings ago. You get a nice wet ball thrown across the
back up the middle on an 0-2 offering. Second time that Leonis Martin has been on tonight.
They got the shift on him, and he beats it. Seen that with 2 or 3 times tonight. Right there on the line, cleanly through.
Reyes into pinch run. We all know because of the Leonis Martin hamstring injury that he's still coming back from. So why risk it? Reyes has got decent speed, and Jose Iglesias stands in. Iglesias single back in the 5th. That snapped an 0 for 10 streak.
Kimbrel throwing, picking on the way up. Some managers like to hear the booing. Some players do. Believe it or not, fun.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, I think they thrive on it. It makes playing on the road challenging. Iglesias almost was nicked. How many guys are saying to their buddy right now, take one for the team, man? Instinctively, you want to get out of the way.
I think he's swinging at the high pitch tonight. There's several of them. His last at bat he did that. It's not like him. You know, he had that little got nicked up there for a couple days, and he was pretty much locked in before that.
Jim Ducey has a bat in hand, ready to pinch hit for maybe Jacoby Jones, who stands on deck right now.
He's got some history.
Now they will switch positions. Ducey does take over the on deck circle. Be a lefty righty matchup. Now Iglesias in a 1-2 hole.
98 firm. Come on, Iggy. You think that looks easy on TV to hit that, or is it? Blink of an eye.
Well, the amount of time you have to decide. It's what I was just referring to when the first pitch was in tight, and a lot of buddies are probably saying to one another, why not take one for the team? The instinct is to get out of the way, and you have such a snap second decision to make.
If you had time to think it out, you would probably take it, but it's on you so quick.
Also 97
If
miles
it's at
per
your
hour.
ribs,
Right.
you can feel what it's gonna, you know what it's gonna feel like before it happens. Or if it's at your head, you're naturally gonna get turned away from it, I hope.
Tapper to second. They'll get the force at second, and the Tigers are down to their last out. Leaves it up to Jim Adducci. What's this discussion about?
Well, about Adducci. You've got he's hitting for Jacoby Jones.
Is this just a reminder of
going over their scouting report with him? I mean, you can't just take people for granted. You know, if you do that, sometimes.
No, I get it.
Yep. That's just. This isn't a guy maybe they would remember because he just came up. Maybe you haven't seen him in the bigs before. So you just go out and say, remember this guy here. You go over it. Don't, his hot zones.
Adducci 1 for 3 in his career against the Red Sox. Off speed pitch. That's tough.
Yeah, after he's just got done throwing a bunch of heaters. Be really cool if he could hit one out of here.
In case you're wondering, he has 1 homer this year.
You just look at the power with Kimbrel right here. Look how he drives with those legs. He's got a great release. Falls off just a little bit, but that's 98 right there.
Yeah, lower body strength right there. It's a good look, fellas. Two and two.
Now, he went up and away like that. It tells me he's going to try and drop a curveball in out of there.
Why?
Well, he's setting it up. You see Adducci, how quick he gave up on that pitch?
Yeah.
So you throw it up there again. It's a curveball. He'll take it. That's one of the setups.
Stroked foul.
Ooh. So, the good veteran guys, they waste a pitch. So he sees it up and away. Will he take it? The old backdoor slider. That's what they're hoping. They set that up and away, up. And they came down and in. Now, do they go up and away and try and backdoor it?
Battling.
He gets and fires it, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
If you had that kind of arm, you'd probably just fire it too.
Yeah. It's not just his arm. He's got really good stuff. Tenth shutout of the year for the Red Sox. They claim game 1. 1-0. Now we send you to the Call Sam studio. John Keating standing by for Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Shep, thank you. My mom used to listen to the records of Johnny Mathis, and he had a hit single with Chances Are. And chances are, sort of the story of this game for the Tigers, they couldn't cash in on the chances that they had. And it was just enough for the Red Sox to beat Matthew Boyd. Ron Gardenhire's reaction among the post-game thoughts coming up.